Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the show today. Very happy to have you all here with us. I got myself nearly a full cup of coffee, but I've been sitting here working so long it went cold on me. Damn it. And it's a gloomy day as well. However, we got a doozy today, boy. Woo-wee! There's a lot of stuff going on in the world, and of course, in political things and entertainment things. So it's a big deal. Of course, one of the big things we'll be getting into today, later on, is talking about all the video games because the video games, of course, it's June. We're getting all the announcements dropped, and spoilers, nowhere near as woke as in the past few years, dude. I mean,
Uh-oh.
yeah, we've had a decade of nonsense, and the past five have been horrible, right? I mean, just horrible.
Right.
But I've watched not all, but pretty much all the showcases that came out. You know, the State of Play and the Gamer Show and Future Game Show and all that kind of stuff. I haven't seen all the Xbox stuff, and of course, I haven't seen Nintendo's drop. But pretty much, I've seen all the new stuff. And there wasn't a lot that was interesting to me, but that's more preference. In general, I saw hardly any woke stuff. What I did see was genre, as it
hmm
should be, right? As it should
hmm
be. There are kids games, there are girl games, there are guy light games, there are shooter games, etc., etc. Instead of taking IP and taking stuff and woking it up, we're seeing them drop in the genre, and there is nothing wrong with that, right? I mean,
Right.
there's no. Why can't you have girl games? Why can't you have a game make a shot and say, "Hey, we're going to put this out for the alphabet rainbow community"? Hey, you go for it, dude. That's
Have
not
fun.
the argument. It's never been the argument, right? And I was shocked so far. I haven't seen any actual just hardcore wokey stuff at all this year. You know how I am about video games, right?
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
I'm pleased, dude. I mean, like I said, I didn't see a lot of stuff that interests me, but that does what does that mean, right? That has
Right.
nothing to do with anything. But
Right. Yeah, it's not a political situation. That's
no,
just taste.
yeah, it's just
Uh,
taste. Yeah.
but I get to say it because I love to say it. I told everybody this was going to happen, and it's starting to happen at high speed now
It
as the
is.
money's drying up.
It is.
So when you look at investment in video games over the last 10 years or so, there was a huge spike right around 2020 to 2022 ish in there. A huge spike, billions and billions of dollars was thrown into video games. And that's where you were getting all this slop that was coming out, this garbage game. Like, gaming's been bad for a while. We've had a couple good years here or there, or maybe like a good few months where really good games came out, but the AAA scene's been a desert.
Yeah,
When you go
it
back
has
20
been.
years, you were getting two or three AAA games, good ones, every month.
Yeah.
Every month. And now you're getting maybe that in every 6 months.
Right.
So
And
that
yeah.
the fact that games are taking longer to develop because they got all this seed money in to allow them to grow their organizations, and instead of being video game development companies, they became activist companies who develop video games,
Right.
and the bureaucracy just grew and grew and grew and grew and grew. Well, now that's all going bye-bye. You see all these companies laying off thousands of people.
Right.
Ubisoft sold out to China basically entirely.
Yeah.
Uh, that's all going bye-bye now. You
Yeah.
have
Well,
Chinese companies coming in, and that's a double-edged sword. But so far, that sword's been pointed the right way.
they do
They've
want to
just
make
been
money.
making good games. Yeah, they've just been making really good games. Marvel Rivals is a great example. Black Myth Wukong is a great example, which I think you should play. I think you'd love that game.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, it's definitely on my list. Yeah.
yeah, it's just they. What happened is they ran out of money, which is what I said was going to happen because no one buys that shit. Nobody wants to play that shit. So they've bled money for 6-7 years in a row, maybe longer, depending how long you want to go back. And now the investment in the last year is a fraction of what it was because the venture capitalists were being told that this is what the market wants. They were basically just being lied to that this is what people want. Throw a bunch of money at video games, you'll get huge returns on your blah 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 blah. It never happened. There was a few cases where it did here or there, but those were probably going to be successes anyway. And now what you're seeing, and I love this, everybody should love this. This is huge. This is welcome. This is what we should all want because when video games were at their best, this is the way it was. You have a bunch of small studios on very limited budgets comparatively
Yep.
pumping out
Yep.
masterpieces.
Yep.
Masterpieces.
And two things are leaning into that, right? One,
Yep.
the engines that we have, even though I understand the Unreal Engine has its issues, especially at a distance in the background, right? I get that.
Right.
But we
Right.
do have a Unreal Engine 6 coming, which is directly dealing with those issues. But we have that utility for people. And yeah, as you had said, these people have had some money coming in and they've been building. And now you have all
Yep.
these indie companies just dropping really high quality stuff.
Yep.
And the AAA is floundering. So that's why this year was so good with so many interesting looking games, is because
Yep.
the indies are starting to put out some actual stuff. Um,
Yep.
no, not all of it, but there's a lot of good stuff. And you mentioned Ubisoft, and we know the situation with them. They actually had a big announcement this year. They put out, Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Right.
What do they call it? Resynced or something like that. Basically, they
Resynced.
made
Yep.
it prettier.
Well, they made it prettier. They took out a bunch of the parts that people didn't really like, which is basically just all the present day stuff, because the present day story in that game is stupid and worthless and pointless.
Yeah.
Because it's the one right after they killed off what's his name, the main character of the
Ezio.
first three games. No, the guy in the future. I can't remember his name. It was right after they killed him off, which half the audience was completely fine with because they hated the character. They hated when they'd go into the future. I personally, that was the thing I liked the most, was the dichotomy, because I thought the plan was we were building this guy to eventually have a game set in near future.
Right. Yeah.
That never happened, obviously. But I would have been fine if it had just been a historical based game and didn't have all that in it. But regardless, that's what they've been doing. So they took out a bunch of that stuff. They streamlined the combat, made it a little bit more modern. Which isn't a bad thing necessarily in the controls, and not that the game played bad. It didn't. It plays phenomenal even today. But it was still very much that old Assassin's Creed style. I think they added a couple new, like they added some more content. They added some more like companion characters and stuff. They did take some things out that people are unhappy about, like aesthetically, one of the chicks doesn't have her tits out as much or something like that. But by and large, it seems like the right way to do it, right? The right way to do a remaster, to actually remaster it, not just make it prettier, which they did do, but to make it better, actually play better. And what they did, and here's the ultimate concession about everything we're talking about. You know how they made this happen? They went back and hired a bunch of the old white devs that they
Yeah.
sunsetted because they couldn't get their goofy woke libtards to make a game of any substance or quality. They had to go get some guys in their 40s and 50s to come back and beg them to do this for them, and they did, and
Yeah,
it looks great.
the actual experts, those guys.
Yeah, the
Um,
actual talent.
yeah, I know, and that's just one example. But
Yeah,
there were a lot of stuff that had no woke stank on it at all, and nor history. Right? There's a
right.
lot of that, and there is some stuff that's definitely girl games, and there's some stuff that's definitely kind of the wokey crowd game, but it's not stealing stuff. It's their own stuff. Like I said, it's genre based as it should be, right?
Right.
And that's completely fine. No one has ever complained about that. Now, the chances of your thing making a lot of money off a certain niche, uh, you know, uh, uh, you know, populations is difficult, right? But
Yes.
it just depends on how much money you put in and what you're looking on the back end. To be fair, video games are getting easier and cheaper to make. And with AI, which we haven't seen the onslaught of this yet, right? Maybe next
No.
year, maybe the year after,
Next 5 years or so.
right?
Yeah.
But when we do, what you're going to see is a whole lot of video games, movies, TV shows, tons of stuff, just like Elon said, that are coming from all kinds of people. They're going to flood that market.
Yep.
And it'll be a pain in the ass to sift through. But what it'll end up with is a lot of new ideas, a lot of interesting things will rise to the top, as always, right?
Yep. Well, we're
So
already seeing it in Hollywood to some degree. It's not necessarily AI that's doing it, but just young blood.
young
So you have these two
creators
incredibly
getting going,
young
yeah,
directors who came in and just blew the box office off its fucking ass, with movies that cost nothing to make by comparison,
right.
and they're not. That's not going to go. That's not going anywhere, right? So what we'll see is these guys, unless something happens, something terrible, unfortunate happens to them, they're going to become megastars as directors. And that's probably a good thing because, in my opinion, Hollywood's at its worst, or the entertainment industry in general is at its worst when the megastars are only the actors. Because the reality is, aside from a very few exceptions, most actors are interchangeable. You could find 10 guys to play that role basically the same way. There are exceptions with people who are genuinely, amazing, like Nicolas Cage. You only get one Nick. You only get one Nick. You're not getting another one. Don't
You get a
ask.
lot of nicks. You get the multiple
Uh,
nicks. Yes.
my point is, actors are a dime a dozen. In every other society that's ever mattered, they weren't really seen with high regard because it's not, it's just one of those. That's just how it is. So, but the directors and the producers and the writers, when they're given more, what do we want to call it, cultural cachet, we'll go that way with it. Uh, that's actually a sign that you're going in the right direction because the creatives are getting the praise and not the person that's basically just the tool.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. So we've had about a decade or so of not even the actors getting the praise. Nobody was. Hollywood was just kind of a vacuum of star power. And I think we're going to see a change in that because you have this young generation who knows how to use social media. They're going to use social media to promote their stuff, to create concepts for their stuff, put it out. It's going to do what it does, and if it does great, boom, they can take off.
Well,
They've already proven they know how to market themselves. That's
do,
a
yeah.
huge deal. So
Yeah,
I'm just saying, I think that's where we're at.
look what Markiplier did with Iron Lung. That's completely
Yep.
what you just said. Self
Yep.
promotion through social media. 100%. Speaking of a tangent and the Knicks, we have a Nick, but we also have the Knicks, which Grimlock and I are well aware of. They're one of the worst, if not the worst, basketball teams in the NBA. Haven't had any glory since the early 70s. And we got a lot of Democratic politicians getting up because Trump was going to go watch one of the finals, see when it because they're actually in the finals. I don't know what happened with that if it's over or not. However, they were like, yeah, sure, Trump likes basketball. Sure, okay, okay, sure thing, Trump. And it's like, well, and they quoted about misquoted that Holcomb lady. Oh, Holcomb lady's an idiot. Which shocker. But it's like, well, any of
Oh
us who
Lord.
lived in New York, we are all well aware that of Trump's support for the worst team in the NBA. He's always been a Knicks fan. He's always supported them. He's put money behind them. The owner is, I'm sure, is a pretty good friend of him. I think. But
James
Trump,
Dolan is a complete
but
fucking moron. He is the reason the Knicks are terrible.
that's fair. That is
Like
fair. But you know right well, Trump's always been a Knick fan. He's always, and
yeah,
everybody kind of scratches their heads like, you're a rich guy. You could like the Bulls or the Celtics. You could
people
like
people
anything.
do not people do not fucking realize. Even in the fucking 90s, courtside seats to a Knicks game was fucking rent money.
Yeah,
Okay?
that is true.
You just if you was a fucking Knicks fan, whether you was Donald Trump or Spike Lee
Hmm.
or whoever the fuck, if you was spending season tickets to sit courtside at a Knicks game, you was throwing some serious cash around.
Yep.
And
Though
you
they always lose.
and that's not being a half-ass fan. To throw that kind of money year after year to go home pissed off,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
dedication.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Yes, sounds like a Tigers fan. I know that game.
Sure,
We used to have
sure.
yeah,
season
Or
tickets
the
to
White
the
White
Tigers.
but
Sox.
but
Yeah.
but Sundaro, here's the funny thing. I'm 42. The Tigers have won more championships in these 42 years I've been alive than the Knicks
Yeah,
have.
That's right.
the
That's right.
My dad was my
1984.
dad my dad was 16 the last time the Knicks won a championship.
Yeah. No, it was 73, 74,
Yeah,
73, maybe. Yeah.
yeah, 73, the
Yeah.
72-73
Yeah.
season.
Who won the NBA Finals? Are they still ongoing or is it done?
No, it's the Knicks are up 2-0.
Okay.
Game three is going to be at Madison Square Garden tomorrow night, which is why all this shit about Trump is going off
I
because
see.
if if Barack Obama's half baboon looking ass started up into there, everybody be lining up to lick his ass crack.
Right. Of course, that's true.
But
But I mean, if you, I just don't understand these politicians. I mean, well, I guess we've established this already, but a simple Google search, and now these days it's even easier. You can just ask the AI, what is Trump's favorite NBA team? Right? I mean, a simple
when
search, they would
when
have known this, but they went on the idea that he's a
when
rich guy that doesn't actually like sport, even though the guy has supported every sport you can imagine his entire life. Mike Tyson doesn't have a career without,
he
old Trumpy. So many things,
it,
dude. They're so stupid.
he's always been in support of fucking of sports. Yeah, he kind of helped sink the USFL back in the '80s because he decided to sue the NFL when he was one of the owners.
Yeah,
Um, but to say again, it's easy to virtue signal when you have idiots as your base.
yeah.
And
It's.
I know
I
most
mean,
I know most people don't want to hear that shit, but the vast majority of the people these fucking Democrats virtue signal to, I mean, right now, whatever the temperature is outside where you live, just know that those people's IQ is lower than that.
yeah, it is. It most certainly is. But it's so sad, dude. One little search, you know that Trump is a mad sports guy. He's mad. And I don't know how they don't know this. I mean, I'm older, I guess. And of course, I lived over in that region. But Trump's always been
Well,
a crazy sports guy.
He played
well,
sports when he was younger.
He did.
well,
He was a
well,
jock.
Chester. Every time we get together and we talk, we tell you how dumb the average American has become.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know if you've seen this story on YouTube, but it's absolutely fascinating. This store that stole over $200,000 of Legos from this guy,
Yeah, I
and
saw the
what's
yeah, mini figs and bricks,
yeah,
bricks and
what's
minifigs. Yeah.
utterly amazing about this story is the police when they get called in and they try to pretend like they don't know what the fucking law is, and it's like, nigga, that's your one job.
Yeah, right.
Is that's your literal one job,
Yeah.
and to pretend like you don't know what this person is holding, and he's holding official court documents, and you're sitting there acting like it's braille.
Yeah.
But that's you have people who talk about, oh, you have a master's degree in what?
Yeah.
Cornholing? Because it is nothing that you can actually apply intelligently.
Well, I don't really believe it, seeing as the actual demographics that we have in statistics in regards to the amount of people who can actually read at a proper level or do mathematics or what have you that are being graduated anyway. And then their desperate need to just suck in black people into the university to show how, virtue signal how amazing they are. I can't imagine if you take a high school person who doesn't have the proper education level even for high school, right? And put them in a university system that they're going to be able to thrive. So I'm assuming that the university system is also just kind of, filing them through. And to be fair, you pay for it anyway, don't you? I mean, in the end, right? But yeah, there's a huge education problem in America in that regard because of that. And unfortunately, the worst of it is leaning on the black community, and we know why that is. It's because they've been told that if you're a smart person, if you're out there actually studying and doing well, you're an Uncle Tom. Once again, emphasizing the absolute stupidity of the black community, the black ghetto community, in the fact that they don't even understand that Uncle Tom is actually the hero of the book, you moron.
They
I
never read the book.
they've
That's
never
the
read the
problem.
book, but it's so crazy, dude. Know as well as I do, and you probably heard it in your community as well. That since before I was born, they've been throwing that term around, Uncle Tom, right? And they don't know what it means at all. It's insulting. You freaking morons. Anyway,
Should be.
yeah, it's irritating to
But
me, Thundero. It's
it,
irritating.
But it is utterly
Frustrating.
amazing how you can watch people be completely ignorant or stupid and have the confidence that they do in spouting their ignorance and stupidity.
Dude, we have situations in America where you have black neighborhoods and black areas where you'll have some black kid who's actually pretty smart, naturally smart. I mean, any black person can go in and study just like anyone else, but you'll get really smart black people, of course, right? And those poor black
Yeah.
kids in those black communities, they're not lucky enough to be in just a normal American one. Um, they actually will beat them up because they do well on tests. We have so many testimonials coming from smart black kids who literally went in and flunked the tests on purpose so they didn't get singled out. That is
Fuck that.
insane. That is insane, right? And you wonder why countries like Japan and Korea and even China dominate in the education systems. Because here in Japan, everybody in Korea, everybody in China, everybody education is first and foremost when it comes into rearing a child. Education
You
first,
get,
right?
you get
They
your
are
ass whooped if you fail the
dogmatic
test on
about it.
purpose down now.
Well, I'm just saying this is what you can produce when you get at it. Scandinavia is the same way. They are
Yep.
dogmatic about education, and look what it does, right? And America is suffering for that. And of course, not all Americans. The normal Americans in normal places are getting normal educations, but it's these communities, right? And because
Mhm.
you know whose fault it is, Sundaro?
Tell me.
It is George W. Bush. It's his fault, right? Well, it's his administration.
Mhm.
No child left behind, because the
Mhm.
intent of No Child Left Behind is great, Grimlock. It's a good idea, right? But they always
Yeah.
go to cheat, right? People always go to cheat. They're like people are like everything else in life is like water. It looks for the easiest access and the easiest flow. So instead of actually increasing the education and taking their lowest level students and leveling them up, they just brought everything down to the lowest kids level. That's what they did. That's how they made that
Yep.
work, right? And like I said, it's a good idea, but you can't just throw an idea out that hasn't been worked up. And this is the problem with idiots, rhinos, and Democrats. They don't have a plan; they just have an idea. Yeah. And this is where we are today, where you're looking at 70, 80% of all black community schools throughout America cannot read at a high school level.
Yep.
I mean,
Because
what?
white liberals love the concept of shit. And
Well,
as
they
I've
just
told
want
people
dumb black
numerous
people. That's what they want.
oh, that too. Oh, they got them. They got plenty of them.
So insane. And of course, this also will have a lesser effect, but a trickle down effect on every other group. Every other group. Right? Even
Yeah.
Asian, the yellows, who we know how they are about education, right? Even the Asians' education levels are reducing. That's insane.
Yeah, 'cause we have to waste resources on idiots
Yep.
Yep.
instead of just taking these people with IQs of, room temperature IQs and putting them where they should be, getting them out of the schools and putting them in vocational systems that they can learn how to do something useful.
Hmm.
Uh, we force smart kids like myself. I went through it in school. Grimlock probably went through it in school as well. I don't know about back in your day, but probably. We force smart kids to lower themselves. They have to. They don't have a choice because the material's lower. So we have to go at everybody at the slowest common denominator's pace, and the smart kid gets bored out of his fucking mind. Ask me how I know.
Which is
Because
why
I
they
spend 90% of my day in school just like, oh my God, you're so stupid. How do you not understand? How is this going over your head?
which is why they jumped us ahead in grades, and it's also
Yep.
why they have had AP level classes. I mean, they did try to
Right.
mitigate that. They tried to mitigate that. But honestly, you can solve this problem very, very simply. We give federal monies toward education, which I don't agree with, but it is what it is. And very
Mhm.
simply, create tests that are legitimate tests for year one, year two, year three, and graduation, and you can't move on to the next level unless you pass this test, and the state must
Mhm.
implement it, or you just don't. If you don't want to, you don't have to, but you get no education money whatsoever, none.
Yeah,
Yeah, that will
I
solve that
I
shit.
think they've tried that on paper, but then what they do is they keep lowering the standards,
Yeah, no,
so
that's why you put out the
it's
standards.
easier
It
to pass
cannot
the
be
test.
changed. It cannot be adjusted, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Now, see, Chester, you're making sense, and that's against company policy.
Damn it.
You're gonna have to speak with you at HR.
Yeah, I wouldn't survive
He doesn't have to
HR.
worry about that.
I've never worked anywhere that had HR. I've never seen HR in my life.
I don't think you'd make it. I don't think you'd make
You're
it.
not missing anything.
Yeah, I don't think I'd
You
make
sure
it.
ain't.
No, I have opinions. Yeah, yeah.
HR is strange because in a lot of companies it's just high school, but with actual authority over your life. And if you're, just an average dude, they don't care about you at all. You can go in with any kind of complaint; they don't care. They'll just, hand wave it. Basically, you're a pretty girl. Well, everything you say is gospel truth. You're a good-looking guy. Well, every girl in the HR department, because it's almost always women, wants to fuck you. So they're gonna just do whatever you say. But normal dudes, it's like being the normal looking kid in high school or
Are
the ugly
you
kid in high school. Nobody cares.
are you insinuating that HR is full of lesbians?
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
And women who couldn't get attractive men when they were younger, so they
Yeah.
compensate by punishing everybody else around them.
Wow. Yeah, see, I
Or
wouldn't I wouldn't even
or
well,
or they was the ugly girl in high school and they got pretty later on in life and they still decided they're gonna make fuckers miserable.
yeah,
Yep.
well, people have attitude. Alan says, try passing a math, spelled with an F, class at LeBron James Academy.
No, I
Better
ain't
not
heard
get
shit
shot
about
first.
that. I ain't heard shit about that academy since they came out that first class that failed.
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah. Not that I have a problem with LeBron trying to help out with education. It's not a bad idea at all.
If he actually
If he
did,
if he
instead of
meant
just
it,
putting money at something and pretend it.
Yeah, LeBron is not a smart guy. So the
No, he's
people
a fighter.
around him need to help him out and say, hey, that's a great idea, LeBron. Let's get someone to help that knows what they're doing, help you out. Let's get someone to help you out.
He's like a really naturally beautiful woman. He doesn't have to be smart, right?
No,
He's just
he's
physically superior
physically
to basically
talented.
every other human alive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I just wish you were a little more self-aware, because there are dumb people who are self-aware of their intellectual, capability. They,
This is why he'll never be, in my mind, and anybody with any reason's mind, in the conversation with Michael Jordan or even really Kobe, because they were intelligent and they were hard workers, extremely hard workers. I don't even think Michael was that talented. I think he was about as talented as your average NBA player, but he had so much determination it was ridiculous, ridiculous. So he made himself better. Whereas LeBron, he's just as good. He doesn't have to work that hard at it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna push back on Jordan Talent, because I've actually been in the stadium, well, the arena, I guess, and watched Jordan take off from the key.
Yeah,
I mean, the
but he
guy.
taught himself to do that.
Yeah, I mean, what, he can cross the court in three large strides. I mean, type of.
he taught himself to do that, though, is my
I guess
point.
he
He
did.
worked like it was just like Tiger Woods. I don't think Tiger Woods is that particularly talented either.
Yeah.
I think he just was trained so hard and so long that, he became what he became because he was trained since he was like 3 to
Yeah,
be, to
but
be
I
a golfer.
I had a
Well,
I
I
was
think,
on the right side goal, and I
yeah.
was I guess it's relative, but that's from my seat, and I was like fifth row or something like that, and I saw that dude take off from before the key, right? I mean, like the circle, whatever that's called, which I think it
Mhm.
is the key. Take off and just fly through the air like he was Superman or something.
Yeah. No, I'm
Ridiculous.
not saying he wasn't talented. I'm saying he wasn't exceptionally talented.
All right.
I think he was as talented as a starting point guard or a starting shooting guard in the NBA.
I
But
see.
what he
Well,
had
you guys never
that
got to
nobody
see
else
any of
had.
those legends play, did you?
Oh yeah, he did. Well, actually, the only
so
time I watched basketball was then. Um, But what he had that no one else seemed to have, at least not at the same level, was this unbelievable refusal to quit.
Yeah, he's
Like
hard.
the man played in the finals with 100, what was it, 103, 104 fever, something like that. That's crazy.
Although I am surprised he didn't bite his tongue off. You know, because that tongue's always just
Well,
hanging. Um,
mhm.
and
I
I
think
went to a
his
couple. I went to a couple games at Madison because that's where I was at the time, Madison Square Garden, and I had seen Larry Bird play too, and I was very close on the court because it's not. I'm not paying for it. I'm going with somebody else. But you can actually, if you're, it depends where you are, but you can actually hear Larry Bird jawing. He's mean.
Yeah, he was a dick.
He's a
Bit of a dick.
dick. That was a pure,
Well,
absolute
a great
asshole.
example is also Tom Brady, right? Tom Brady, he's not a freak athlete, right? He's
No,
a
I
he's an
saw him
NFL
at
level quarterback
great
athlete.
distance, though. Yeah.
Yeah, but he was a crazy student of the game.
Mm.
And what he did is he took that ability to just lock in and do the boring work longer and harder than anybody else, which is his real superpower, Michael's too. Uh, and he applied it on the field, and that's all he had to do because he had enough latent talent to get to the. Anybody who can get to the NFL is already more talented than 99.999% of humans physically to ever exist, right? Just period. Just to get there, to get in the stadium, to get on the field. So the difference between a Tom Brady, who was, seventh round pick because he wasn't that athletically gifted,
No.
and Tom Brady, who's the greatest of all time, and I hate saying that because fuck Tom Brady, but he is.
No, that's our boy.
Uh, no, Tom Brady uh, is simple determination. That's it. And the problem that you're talking about in schools, going back to that, is there's no determination. Nobody's there to try and get anybody to be better than they could be.
Right.
Because we have this materialistic, nihilistic vision that they don't want to say out loud because it sounds racist, but everything they do enforces it that these people cannot possibly excel, so there's no reason to try to make them. Just get
Yeah.
them through the system.
And it's
Get them through the system.
unfortunate because what they're not understanding is in America, when everything is equal with education, the difference between any of the racial groups at the average is hardly anything, right?
Yep.
All things being equal. At the top end, I mean, things are going to be thinned out, right? But the average,
Right.
which is just fine, right? It's not going to be that big a
Yep.
deal if everyone's putting the proper effort. When I was a kid, because back in the '70s, right, we didn't haven't got hit by this yet. Remember, it wasn't until '79 that the Board of Education was created, right? Now,
Right.
I grew up in a place that education was extremely important, so I was lucky. If you were living in a state or area which didn't care much about education, you were less like a lucky, right? But I did.
Right.
So, and where I grew up, there were kids of all colors, right? And we had
Yep.
all kind of kids that even the non-yellow ones that did just fine. They were fine, right? So we know that when everything is equal and you're having a culture that is pushing education, the mean is not that different between the racial groups. It's just not, right?
Right.
And that's fine because that's what the country functions on. You function on your mean. What is your average, right? That's how it functions.
Yeah. What's your baseline?
That's right.
Um,
You know,
and the problem is, by and large, is we've become so feminized, and I don't mean that politically. I mean spiritually, as a culture, that anybody seen striving for excellence. This is why those black kids get beat up because it's the most feminized culture I've ever seen, the Black America.
there are a lot of
Anybody
pussyfoots out
striving
there.
for excellence, yeah, you strive for excellence at any level, you're a problem because you're making other people look bad. Well, that's their problem. They can do it too. That everybody who's ever been successful at anything of any level, has said something to that effect. That person could do it too if they wanted to.
Sure.
I'm not anybody with real, like, a genuine humility or wisdom, like a Mike Tyson or whatever. They're not like that. They're not out here talking about how great they are or whatever. I mean, they might do it, objectively, but objectively he was great. It's not bragging. But my point is, they don't see themselves as special. They see the work they put in. Other people don't, and that can be something that can be instilled in everybody, and it was for a very long time. But you don't do it by telling everybody that they're special. That's not how you do it, because you're not
No,
special.
that
The
that
truth of the
was
matter is,
that was
none of
the
us are
problem.
special. There's maybe 1,000 special people who ever existed in the history of time.
Yeah,
Maybe. And
that
that's
is
being
true.
generous.
That is true. Well,
You're just not.
in general, every single person has 4 hours a day that you can put toward improving yourself. 4 hours.
Yep.
Even if you're a person that is out there having a double job and you're doing 10, 12-hour days, you maybe it's only two. But you'll have so let's be kind and say 2 to 4 hours, right? Every day that
Right.
you can put toward improving yourself. And that's not taking off food time or leisure time. That's all calculated in, right? I mean, you literally have
Mm-hmm.
2 to 4 hours a day you can improve yourself. Why aren't you taking that opportunity? Right?
Take an hour of it. Take 1 hour of it.
Yeah. Take one, even if you
Right?
did just 1 hour. Yeah.
Any skill, just about any skill, especially if it's something that you can learn, as an autodidact or by yourself,
Yeah.
which is most skills.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I'm mostly
it literally doesn't.
autodidactic.
It
Yeah.
takes longer than you expect, but not as long as you think it will. And what I mean by that is, every single time you do it, it's going to feel, especially when you're starting out, it's going to feel like it's taking forever because you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah.
But eventually,
Yeah.
it's not going to feel like that anymore.
Well, see, this is where
And
discipline comes in, right?
yeah, yes, and that's really the thing, right? Is there's no quantification in any social science, in any real science, political science, any of it. There's no quantification for a man who will not quit. They are anomalies. Every time you see an anomaly in statistics, that's what it is. It's a man or a woman, but usually a man who simply will not lay down and die. Period. They will fight and fight and fight and strive and strive and strive. You see the people who come from nothing and become billionaires? That's the quality they have. They're not smarter than everybody else. They're not better than everybody else. They're not stronger. They don't have ins or outs. No. They're not luckier.
Yeah.
They just wouldn't quit.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
And you either what sucks is it seems like you either have it or you don't. Or if you can be trained to have it, you have to start at basically toddler years. You can't like once you're an adult, you're kind of stuck. But you can't. But the people who are born with it, like a Donald Trump, is a great example. He's the best example going today. The man doesn't give up. You can say whatever you want about his morals or his ethics. He does not give up. He doesn't do it.
No. I loved his
And
little
now he's a billionaire.
his little interview. That was great yesterday. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's a perfectly true because you know, even taking myself as an example, right? I am educated, highly educated, right?
Mhm.
I am moderately successful, right? But yet I study every single day. Every single day I study.
Yep.
There is no day that goes by that I don't take at least an hour or three and put toward, improving myself. And I'm 55 years old. So, and there's never been a day in my, well, you have vacations and stuff, but you know what I mean. In general, my
Right.
entire life has been dedicated toward the hunt for becoming a polymath. Now, I'm well aware at this age that that's impossible, but I'm
Right.
just stubborn.
Yeah.
But
That's
I'm just
that's it.
saying,
That's the thing.
yeah,
Stubbornness. Just
stubbornness.
refusing to be told no, refusing to quit
Yeah,
is the number one trait, the number one indicator of material success in the world.
yeah,
And they can't quantify it when they try, because they try and what makes somebody better. All this data, and for most of the cases, it's true. Smarter people are going to be more successful. Blah 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 blah. However, somebody who's not as smart but who is very determined and has that dog in them and just won't quit will very often far surpass even somebody with exceptional intelligence but not that much drive.
oh yeah. No,
Like
I
me,
think
I just don't care. I don't care about money.
my daughter I think is a good example of that from personal experience, right? My daughter is like
Right.
that. I mean, she's not stupid. I mean, but she's a female. Average females, tend to be the societal meme, right? I mean, that's what
Right.
women tend to fall in. So she's smart enough, But the reason why she had so much success was because she is probably the most studious person I've ever seen. And that's me talking, right? Insane levels of studiousness. And my son
Hmm.
was a lazy ass that I had to keep throwing heavy objects at. But he's very smart boy, right?
Right.
And in the end, he's ridiculous. I mean, I belong to a family here of engineers, right? This is what my
Hmm.
wife's family are. Her brothers, her uncles, her cousins, they're all like engineers, that kind of level people, educators, high-end people. And he's not even 30 yet and he's making more money than anybody in the family. Hua.
Nice.
That's a big, big get right there. Now he's also working insane amount of hours, which I think he hates. But this is what you can get if you're smart, which he is, and you have a family that keeps throwing heavy objects at him, saying, "What the hell are you doing? Get at it!" Right?
Right.
Like
Well,
he's
but also he's probably smart enough to realize that if he does that work now, 10, 20 years, he won't be doing that level of work
no,
because
of
he'll be
course
getting paid a
not.
lot more for doing a lot less.
Yeah, I've encouraged him in this way, and they're basically he's in training mode because they want him to take over for I would imagine Fukuoka and also Tokyo's water management. That's what he's doing.
Oh
I
my
know.
gosh.
Yeah, I know, dude. Right. It's
The
it.
biggest
Uh,
in the world, one of them.
yeah, it's pretty high end. But and it brings me back to that conversation, which I'll never let him forget. He tried everything he could to convince me that he only needed 4 years. He wanted to move on and go get a job, and I was like, nope. He kept, he'd call me up or he'd send me texts, and he's like, I've talked to people. We really don't need to go beyond 4 years. It's unnecessary. And I was like, nope. Mm-mm. You're getting a master's degree. Now, him in being engineering and ultimately being chemical engineer, you don't really need a doctorate. I mean, if you want to be a professor or something like that, you go get a doctorate, right? Which
Right.
was my intent. Keep in mind, I was on the education, path. It was why I
Mhm.
went that far, personally. And good enough. Here I am. I'm an educator, right? Uh, but um,
Mhm.
I know he didn't need that. But and of course now he thanks me very, very, very strongly. Thank you for not letting me do that because that extra two
Mhm.
years put him in a different category. Now he's the guy that sends teams out to do stuff instead of being one of the guys on the team, right?
Right.
Yeah,
And eventually he'll just be a guy sitting behind a desk telling that guy what to do.
exactly. And he'll probably be there in a decade. He'll probably be in his
Right.
mid late 30s, literally the boss of the water utilities in Japan's major cities. I mean,
Nice.
come on, dude, come on, right? That's freaking gold
That's
right
a
there.
big deal.
It is a big deal.
Well,
You
not
know,
only that, if he ever decides he wanted to leave that sector, he's going to have all kinds of contacts to get into
well,
the private sector and
that's
do
right,
certain things, chemical engineering.
man. That's my wife's biggest worry. She's worried about him getting headhunted, and
Yeah.
but I've had a conversation with him about that, and he understands the value of you know, even if you do let someone headhunt you down, do it down the road. Don't do it now, right?
No, yeah, don't do it now.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
yeah. Sit there, get yourself in that position,
Level up.
and
Gotta
level
level
up.
up.
Because of how lucky he got, and of course it's hard work too. But how lucky he got to be in doing what he's doing, and they're training him to be the replacement for the old guy who's going to retire. That's what's happening, right? Um,
Hmm.
and the thing with it is, because of his great start, he has a potential to get into the elite level of business in Japan. His
Right.
positioning he's at now, in 10, 15 years, he could end up being in that elite sector of people that pull down, millions a year, right? That kind of guy.
Right.
And we'll see how it goes for him. He is stressing under the bit a little bit right now, but I mean, hey, it is what it is. But the point that I'm trying to make isn't, oh, yay, my kid's doing well. That's not the point. The point is, this is what you can do if you put your head down, You study hard, you have discipline, and you get at it, right? And
Yeah.
that's what we should be promoting. That's what America should be all about. It used to be. America used to be all about that, right? But something happened.
Yeah.
Something in the 80s, something happened because we didn't see the effects of it until the 90s. And then, of course, in the 21st century, it's been freaking like an atomic bomb's gone off on
I,
stupidity.
I have an idea
Yeah,
that will
well, what
fix
do
a
you
lot
think
of
it
the
is?
education problem. Dismantle all the fucking teacher unions.
Oh, well, yeah, that would be great. You know,
Those motherfuckers right there. No, I'm serious.
you're going to
A
have to
lot of
hire
the
the Punisher
problems,
for that.
a lot of the problems that I think is happening right now is because you have a bunch. And let's be frank, we know what's in there. We have a bunch of brain rotted activists who can't be touched because they have protection. They are a lot. Let's be frank, because I always hated this argument. I still like roll my eyes like the fucking Undertaker when I hear people say teachers should be paid like athletes do. No, the fuck they should.
No,
No,
athletes
the fuck they
shouldn't be
should.
paid what they're paid, right?
No, no, they should because one, as Thomas Sowell correctly stated, scarcity is what drives up the product. We just talked about how you have less than a 1% chance of making any sport in the NBA. I could fucking be a teacher tomorrow if I wanted to.
That is true.
It ain't hard.
And the average
So
athlete's career only lasts about 3.5 years. So
exactly. I could do, I'm 42 and if I felt like becoming a teacher, I could do it tomorrow and I can do the shit till I'm 80.
you could. It is true. It's not hard. Being a teacher is all
It's not
about
hard.
learning the skill of being a teacher.
There's
It's a new skill.
well, most of them aren't teachers. They're fucking activists with answer keys. When I was in fucking school, and Thundaro, you've talked about it too. There was a lot of times where we were smarter than the fucking person who was quote unquote teaching us, and we knew. Yeah.
Yeah, I ran
And oh
into
yeah,
that myself too. It irritated me. But
and
I
I'm
only
gonna
had to
say, and
deal
I'm gonna say
7 years
this,
of my life under that education system, though. Anyway, go ahead.
and I will say this too. I think I've mentioned this before. Some of the best teaching I ever had was when I got hurt in the 6th grade and I could not physically go to school, and they sent me a home teacher, and I got homeschooled for the rest of my 6th grade year. And and it was an African dude, but that dude taught me more in those 2 months that I had him as a teacher than I had the rest of that semester previously.
Yeah. No, it
So
is true. That one-on-one is very
so
useful. Yeah.
so if you look at all the shit that you got going, and here's the other thing, because boys and girls learn different.
They do.
Like you said, your daughter's studious. I'm not surprised. Girls are better at retention than boys. They
They
just
are.
are.
That
Girls
is
are
a more natural thing, but she's like
girls
legendary level. It's stupid, dude.
girls will beat boys in book smarts all day. They will because it's easier retaining shit. But when it comes to applying shit, boys beat girls hands down.
Sure.
It's kind of like it's kind of like when you watch The Simpsons, how they used to frame that dynamic between Bart and Lisa. How Lisa is so smart and Bart's dumb. But then, as an adult, I realized no, Bart's not dumb. Bart's actually smarter than Lisa. He's just not book smart. Because whenever shit hits the fan, Lisa doesn't have an answer.
No,
Bart's the one coming up with shit.
that's right.
Bart Bart outsmarted Sideshow Bob numerous times, and Sideshow Bob is a smart motherfucker.
That's right. It is true.
But,
But that
but
dynamic has devolved into some really stupid thing now, though.
yeah, I know, but I'm just saying. But with the way it was always like when I was younger, it was always fun. Lisa's so smart. Bart's dumb. He's not. Homer isn't really either, even though it's the play that he's an idiot. I mean, Homer is kind of like Homer's like the silliest genius you've ever seen.
Well, Homer's a coward. That's his problem. I
Yeah,
mean, really.
possibly.
Yeah. But yeah,
But
they did that. Simpsons was more balanced in that approach. By the time Family came Guy came, they had the dynamic was completely set: men dumb, women smart. And of course,
but
unfortunately, what this has created in modern times, if you've noticed, there is no show, there is no female representation, even if it's like an announcer, where the woman is not this annoying, pompous, know-it-all, bitchy girl. They're all
yeah,
this way because that's what it built into, right? They have no self reflection, and everything we see is that, and the guy's is this stupid idiot that the woman has to tolerate. This is what
yeah.
that led to, and of course, we know in reality this is not the reality. However, it's also what I think has led to the situation where we have not only are women cheating at a way higher rate than men, that it's much more frequent than men, right? It's not like I just saw this thing the other day where this girl was cheating on her husband, not with one, not with two, three guys at the same time,
I'm not surprised.
right? And the thing is, we know that those girls are out there messing around 10, 20% of the guys, right? The other
Yep.
80% are not involved in that at all, at all. So it's like there's a small group of dudes in your town that are getting fucked on a daily basis, and they're just living
Yep.
it up. Boy, howdy.
Well,
There's
what's weird is
dozens of girls.
that's true. The data does show that, but then I go outside and I see these dudes. Just the other day, wife and I went to the park, going for a walk with the dog. Get out of the car. When we're pulling in, there's a beautiful, I don't know, she was probably in early 20s, blonde girl. I mean, genuinely beautiful, walking across the park with a guy next to her who was not. We'll just put, I'll be as nice as I can. He wasn't that. And now it could have very well could have just been her brother. That's a possibility. But I see that a lot. I see it a lot. And I see all the things that the internet says, a lot of these men talk about, oh, I'm too short, women don't like me. And why, when I go places, do I see short dudes with women? I'm too ugly. I see some fucking ogres out here walking around with pretty girls.
Yeah.
Maybe you're just
Well,
a pussy. Do you ever think of that?
maybe, or
Or
maybe you're
maybe you're
looking.
either just a pussy or you're an apathetic and you just don't really care that much.
That's true.
Both are fine,
It's true.
but just be what you are.
Yeah, but those guys could also be the friend zone guy. They could be a guy who's just very
Well,
ambitious,
these most of
hardworking,
them are
has
holding
money.
hands and stuff, and
All
like
right,
that.
yeah. Or they
Yeah,
might
most
just
of them
be
are definite
financially
couple.
stable, and that's why she's with him, and she's
Yeah,
fucking some guy on the side, right?
well, maybe. And that doesn't happen as much as people like to think either.
Dude,
I get
30.
there's a lot of anecdotal stuff about it, and I get that people see it, but you have to understand. Like, say you're going to like you'll talk about the bachelor parties. Most women don't have those. The vast majority of women don't do that. Not like that, bachelorette parties. Uh, they'll have a small little get together at one of their friends' houses or whatever, and that's it. It won't be strippers or anything. Just like most guys don't go to strip clubs. I've never been to a strip club. I have no desire to go to a strip club. It's no, thank you. But you'll have that meme out there of raucous bachelor party or bachelorette party, and it's true,
Yeah,
100% that shit happens, as you
I've
know.
seen it. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not the norm. It's still very much on the extreme. The truth is, and I have to push back on it because a lot of the quote unquote red pill guys preach this message, and they're not wrong.
No.
But the truth is, there's a lot more normal women still than there are the whores. Thankfully, thank God.
Well,
There's a lot
yeah,
more women who don't sleep around, who don't just spread their legs for anybody, than there are the women who do.
sure, but I think it's just that is true, but the absolute hugeness of the actual statistic is the issue. One third,
Mhm.
literally one in three men is raising a child, men that have kids. One of every three men are raising a child that is not theirs.
Correct.
Yeah.
And they don't
Now, but
know it. No,
again,
hold on. They don't know it. That's not taking into
is that
account
how
all
do
the
they
guys
know
that
they
marry
don't know it?
single women. What do you say?
How do they know they don't know it?
because they have all the genetic statistics that are flowing in. And
Well,
there's an
yeah, but
art.
they may
No,
very well know it.
keep
Is
in
my
mind.
point.
Well, yeah, that is true. But keep in mind, there. This is an argument that is going on right now as we speak, when it's been going on for over a decade within the anthrogenetic community, which I am part of. Right.
Right.
I am one of the guys they go to that writes for RH negative stuff. Right. You kids at university are probably reading Professor Busby shit. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm part of that world. I'm still part of that world. And there's the community, especially with the Genome Project and other things like that. We are well aware of this kind of information, and there's a hot argument in between that community of disclosure and non-disclosure, right? And you
Right.
got people say, "Oh, that's none of our business. We should not be saying that." And other people say we owe it to society to inform the information that we're looking at, right? So that argument's been going on for over a decade, dude. Longer
Yeah.
probably because my involvement
Well,
came
this,
in.
the very simple solution to that is to mandate by law that the moment a pregnancy occurs, that child paternity is tested because it can be done very
That that
soon into
is
the
a
pregnancy.
that we should do that. Garen, that is 100% something we should do. 100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is
And
something.
any paternal fraud should be criminal, and there should be serious compensation and potentially serious penalties for that female. Because I mean, I honestly can't think of something more evil you could do to somebody that isn't physical violence. Like, and even then, it's got to be some nasty shit
Hmm.
because you're allowing somebody to give all of their life to something that isn't theirs under the premise that it is. I don't know
Oh, it's
how
pure evil.
that
It's
isn't.
pure evil. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know how that's not criminal on a level that is equal to any form of fraud.
yeah,
I just don't.
yeah.
How isn't it?
Now,
I don't know. I'd take a chair shot to the face before having to put up with that shit.
now we have
Yes,
another.
I would too. I have, in fact.
We have another oldie in here, and he has an opinion. Eric
Oh,
says, I have been to multiple wild bachelor parties and a bunch of strip clubs back in the day. Yeah, but we come from the 80s. I had a
yeah.
friend that didn't get until the second Black Key came out. He and his wife were white. Yeah, of course. Um,
Oh,
yeah, now the thing is, Eric, uh,
I'm
to be
curious.
fair,
I would
these
stop being
guys,
that person's friend.
that's
Personally, I bet. Listen, buddy,
yeah.
you're no. I don't
Well,
need that level of retard in my life.
well,
I'm good.
see, the kind of difference also is I see a lot of guys just kind of chillly dealing with this and just leaving the girl, which, fair enough. My generation,
Right.
someone's getting broken.
Yes.
Someone's getting broken. Violence is
I'm
going to
petty though,
take place.
Chester. I am petty and vindictive, and I'm okay with it.
Well, remember me, myself, and Irene with Jim Carrey. There was a lot of people who went through that shit. It wasn't just a joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know
Yeah.
what you mean.
No,
That's
it's
why I'm mentioning it. Yeah.
the reason why we have to. This is the reason why the people who are supposedly in the quote red pill space talking about things like hypergamy as if it's a universal law. It's not. You're giving women an excuse to simply be greedy whores. Stop it. Simple as that. Stop it. This doesn't have to be the case. It didn't used to be the case. Anybody who tells you it's always been this way is lying to you. Women are moral agents. They are not just something that gets blown around in the breeze, no matter what feminism wants to portray them as. They're not victims. They are capable of making right and good decisions. You know how I know? Because I've known women who were.
Yeah.
I've seen this happen.
Oh,
I've
yeah, yeah.
lived it. So
Well,
it's funny that coming from the so-called misogynists over here, I'm the one who has to defend the moral virtue of women, not because women are morally virtuous, but because they can be.
of course
They
they
don't
can
have
be.
to be this way.
Most
But
women in the
there's so
world are.
many
I'm
people
talking
who
about
want to
America.
convince. Yes, yes. There's so many people who want to convince everybody else that this is just how women are, and that's just the
No,
way it
no,
is,
it's not
and
true.
that's simply not true.
That's not true at all. No, no, that's definitely not true. Most women around the world are exactly what women have always been. Yeah. I mean, there's
Yes.
a 20% of any
Once a
society.
woman genuinely loves you, she's loyal to death.
That's right.
There's no breaking that bond when it's real, unless you really fuck up. Like, you got to do something. And even then, man, these people out here, there's dudes out here killing bitches, raping them, all sorts, and these women are still loving them. So,
yeah,
I'm just saying, it's real. It's real.
One of the problems America has that the rest of the world doesn't have is the American girls, and I'd assume it's probably somewhat the same over in Europe, at least probably at a lower level. But in America, it's that so many of these girls are incredibly sluttish, just ridiculously sluttish. And most girls in the world aren't. I mean, maybe they had a partner before they got married. Maybe two. Unlikely, right? So you're looking at people who are either born, they got married virgins, or maybe they had a partner. That's the average around the world, right? I think the number is like 1.7 or something like that, right? And men are like 1.3. And that's in America too, by the way. That's a global number as far as the amount of partners they have, right? So you don't have this problem outside of America at all. It's completely different. Those women are, normal women. And marriages, of course, the divorce rate's not even close. Not even close. You have
well, not only that,
it's well under like 1%.
I think what we're going to see in the next 50 years here, which obviously we probably won't see it, but the world will. We'll probably all be dead. But we're going to see a massive return, a neo-technical return to arranged marriages, hard law against divorce, like it used to be, where it's extremely difficult to do,
right?
Or much more than it is today. Secure paternity. It'll become almost more transactional in that part of it, not necessarily the romance part, but maybe. And you're also going to see the implementation of more and more cybernetic sex, whether it's through AI chatbots or we already see the porn situation, which, by the way, more women watch porn than men. That's a dirty little secret. Nobody wants to talk about that, but it's true.
Really?
Yes. Well, it depends because men watch more hardcore porn, women watch more softcore porn, and read far more porn than men do. So the porn's different, but it's still porn.
You can read porn?
Yes. What do you think the books are? These romance novels? It's all about fucking.
I don't
that's all it is. It's all about the penis and the vagina, and that's what we're doing in there.
We're gonna have to send him that shoe on head video about the Morning Glory Milking Farm.
Yeah. Yes. There is a very very well selling book called Morning Glory Milking Farm, Chester, about a woman who gets a job jacking off a minotaur.
That sounds familiar. Did we talk about that already? That actually sounds
we might have
familiar.
But my point is, this is where we're at with the debauchery of the females.
I'm going to check it. Hold on a second.
Oh no, here it comes.
God,
what am I looking for here?
Tell them.
Please be in incognito mode.
Morning. I'm always in that. Glory.
Morning Glory Milking Farm.
What do you say? Milking?
Milking, yes.
Farm. Oh, okay. Here we go.
Baby.
Alrighty. And oh God. Alrighty then. Well.
You was warned.
Hold on a second. So now this is non-human. So
yes.
It's a fantasy, I'm assuming. And
it's a minotaur.
That's a man.
It is a best-selling bestiality book.
She's not milking a cow. She's milking, I'm assuming, sperm?
Yes.
Okay.
That's right. That's where we're at, Chester. So when I say that more women engage, we'll call it engage because it's not technically watching porn than men do, it's the truth. It's simply a fact.
I did not know that.
I do think that's where we're heading. We're heading for more because I keep saying it, and people want to pretend I'm talking glink here.
Wait, I just realized. Wait. Tadaro, I just realized on the picture that he's showing, it says read by Eva King. There's an audiobook version of this. Oh my
Is
god.
that what
Yes,
oh
that's right.
yeah. Yeah, it's an audiobook.
The sex bots are coming, boys, and I think that's what's going to be that starts the correction. Because you
Well,
already have the largest group of single women in their 30s and 40s and 50s in the history of the world. And it's not going to get better because why in God's name would a man, especially one who has any kind of money, nowadays marry one of these American women? They're just going to rape you in the divorce court.
yeah, no, if they actually can get a, companion style robot up and running that is actual
Oh,
functional,
yeah.
it's going to be a big problem. Let me
The
see.
feminists are going to be the biggest anti-AI, anti-robotic,
Yes, did
anti-automation
you see what the
people.
Howl just wrote in the comments? Oh fuck.
What did he say? I wish Michael Caine read it. That would be better.
Holy fuck.
I'm not seeing what I want quick enough, but that just would take research. Let me get this crap off my damn screen. All right. I blame somebody for
But my
that.
point was that I was getting to before we got sidetracked in the porn conversation is look at AI right now. You can kind of make it do anything you want anyway. Now, once they get the video and audio generation
Uh-huh.
pristine, which they're getting very close to, I mean, the sky's the limit. I think you're going to see full-on holodecks or something very similar to that very soon,
Maybe.
and it'll be powered by AI stuff. But beyond all that, I do think we're going to see a trend towards a more conservative marital system
Well, it might
that
be
is,
forced to
well, I
force
shouldn't
it.
say
Yeah.
conservative is the wrong word, traditional marital system that is almost impossible to break, that anybody engaging in illicit activity with the spouse of somebody else will be a crime again, or very closely a crime, like a very bad offense.
Well, keep in mind,
Um,
men were more heavily punished for that than women were actually back in the day.
yes.
But let me just do this real quick. Alan says we're going to see Robo Wives. I'm saving up for a 2035 Ford Escort.
Oh, boy, that's
Give
funny.
give give Alan 10
Uh,
points. I'm going to go get some coffee. You keep talking about this, and if you'd like, you can transition to Spider-Man Noir.
well, I want to wait for you to be here to do that because I got things to say. I got opinions.
Opinion.
He's gone. He's gone. He's out. No, I do think that's where we're heading. I think the sex spots are inevitable. I think that'll be the big catastrophe, quote unquote, that actually realigns the sexes again. The salaciousness of the modern American woman is out of control. Everybody knows it. Even they know. Even they admit it. Right? That's why they hide it. That's why they lie about it. That's why when they find a decent guy who's just looking for somebody who isn't a complete piece of trash, they don't tell that guy the truth. Are you out of your mind? He'll never know the real number or the crazy shit she's gotten up to. And that right there is also a big problem. And the only way to correct that is to bring some competition to the market. Now, there was ways to have that competition in an artificial sense by such strict regulation. Right? There were so many rules and norms and what have you, and cultural what's the word I'm looking for? Cultural consequences for marriage, for screwing up a marriage, all of it. That was effectively creating a form of like a soft competition, not a direct competition, but because it was so difficult and so catastrophic to screw it up, like socially, it wasn't something that happened very often unless you were super, super, super rich and it didn't matter, right? Because you had money and people who needed access to your money or whatever, like a king. Even then, it was rare. That's not going to come back. The genie's out of the bottle. Social media exists. I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon. And so that version, I don't think is coming back. But what I do think is going to come back, and we're already starting to see it if you notice around the world, around the country, marriage laws are becoming more and more actually even. They're far less, leaning towards the woman, towards the mother. They're still doing it, but it's drifting. It has been for about 25 years, drifting back to something that's far more reasonable.
Yeah.
And that's good. The problem is it's not good enough because their version of reasonable still isn't enough. We need to go even further into what they would consider unreasonable, because if you do not, you're just going to drift right back once it stabilizes over here. So you have to lock it down. I do think that's going to happen to some level. Like I said, I think no fault divorce is going to go away in most places in the West. I think infidelity, no matter who it is, man or woman, is going to become. It's definitely not going to. Well, for the man, it usually is shamed heavily, but for the woman, it's not. I think we're going to see a shift back to where that's the case. I also do think you're going to see a lot more arranged marriages. A low trust society, there's a reason why arranged marriages existed in the first place, because the societies were low trust. And we're heading there very, very quickly. I'd say we already are there in most places. So I think you're going to see a lot more of those. I'm actually, and I hate it, the libertarian part of my brain hates this, but I don't know what else to do. I actually do think there needs to be some form of intervention, not necessarily regulation, but something to stop the bottom feeders from reproducing at the rates they're reproducing at. Because the truth of the matter is, yes, the birth rates are down all over the place, except for among two groups, the extremely poor and the extremely religious. That's it. The extremely poor and the extremely religious are out here just busting out kids. For the first time in a very long time, I think it was 50 years, the white birth rate actually took the lead in America. White people are back. We're having babies again. That's a good thing. But the problem is, when you actually look deeper into that statistic, it's not the ones that you would necessarily want. We'll call it. There is a lot of religious ones, a lot of hyper-conservative ones, like my cousin, for instance. She has 9 kids. 9. All by herself. And she's the same age as me. That's fine. Her and her husband are great people. But the majority of them are going to be your welfare monkeys and what have you, right? Because they get everything for free when it comes to taking care of that child, or nearly for free to them anyway. So the problem becomes, how do you level that playing field? I actually don't think the birth rate problem is a problem. I think it's going to level itself out. I think it's already doing it. I think one of the reasons why you're seeing it tick back up for certain demographics like whites is because the corrective mechanism is already heading in the right direction. The people who want to have kids are just having more kids than ever. The people who don't want to have kids are still just having none. And that'll be the way it is. Nothing's going to change that until the only people left are the people who want to have kids, because their kids will want to have kids most likely. And there you go. And I do think that's going to correct itself. I think also I honestly think it's going to be the next 5 to 10 years, what Chester was talking about, a working companion bot. He's got this idea, I think, that it needs to be fucking data, right? It needs to be that sophisticated. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. It needs to be able to do very basic things. We already have machines that can do most of the actual movements, and from what I understand, they work just fine. And women obviously have had machine boyfriends, for 50 years or however long when the first vibrator was. So I don't think it's going to be it's not going to be as sophisticated as most people are thinking. But it will eventually become that, I do believe. I do believe you'll eventually have virtual intelligence machines within 50 years, probably within 20, if it keeps going at the pace it's going, walking around everywhere, maybe a little clumsy, but they'll be doing it. And that'll just be how life is. Right? The robots will just be here. They won't be artificial intelligence, because I know they keep saying we're close to it, but we're not. They're lying. They've been saying that for 20 years. It's not true. But they are close to a very functional virtual intelligence, which is, for most people, going to be the exact same thing, right? You're not going to really be able to tell the difference. A normal person won't. So,
and they keep in mind they did pass the Turing test 3 years ago.
yeah. The problem is you can program to pass the Turing test, right? Like, it's hard to prove actual artificial intelligence, because you have to prove actual sapience, not just sentience, sapience. That's a different level.
No, that is true. Me personally, I was talking more. I use the word companion very intentionally, thinking that more than just sexual need that a female can, a good partner present someone who supports you, who tries to help you improve yourself for the betterment of all of you. And a companion would be someone, would it be a robot that does this? I mean,
We
sex
have
is
those already.
easy. Let's be fair.
AI chatbots. AI
Yeah,
chatbots already do that.
yeah,
Something
yeah.
like
So
50%
they
of women in America use
yeah,
ChatGPT as their own as a personal therapist or
right.
friend. Something
But
like I think that's the number.
if you put that in a very strongly presentable female robotic body, you got something.
Yeah.
Just as general information, because I heard you talking about it, Mortimer, no, his name was Joseph. Joseph, maybe he was both. Anyway, Joseph Granville created the Viber in 1880. And the oldest dildo we have found is 28,000 BCE.
My point is, Chester, women have been doing this a long time. All
Yeah,
right, they've been in on the game on the ground floor for a very long
yeah,
time. Men are
I
finally
got your
catching up.
historical back, buddy. I got it.
Men are finally catching up, and I cannot wait to watch it happen. I hope I'm still here. I hope I'm still breathing when it happens because the weeping and gnashing of teeth that are going to come from the femoid women,
Yeah,
feminist women, is going to be on a scale we have never seen. It will shake the planet to its core with its intensity, Chester,
it will.
and I want to see it happen.
Your volume dropped a little bit. If you could adjust that.
I don't know if I can. But yeah,
Okay.
let's see.
Because I get you maxed out. Something happened when I came back. Let me hear you, Grimlock. Is it on my side or is it just him?
I don't know. How is it coming
No,
through?
you're same. Yeah, it's him. Something dropped. Maybe he changed his position or something like that. Do I sound the
No,
same?
I mean, well, yeah, you sound fine. I'm closer to my because I have my Bluetooth in to my headset. I just got to charge it, so I'm just using my Bluetooth. But I got closer to my phone actually, so I don't know why it got quieter. I was in my basement just before you left.
No, I see. It's all right. I just curious. But anyway, what we were oh yeah, we were talking about the future of relationship dynamics. Interesting. Interesting. Well, let's go ahead and transition over to our entertainment stuff, shall we? Because we got other things to
Here we
talk
go.
about. Before we get into that, though, real quick, um, just a gallop around the globe type situation. Most things are unchanged. I would say the important things geopolitically to mention. Uh, China, I keep mentioning it, but China is there's literally full on riots in the streets which have been going on for a long time now, but now what we're seeing is people are just giving up on these fast built dangerous Chinese cities, and they're retreating back
Yeah,
to the countryside, which is what you see in when you have extreme recession, right? Which is what's happening
right.
in China. Just to give an example, we had some data come out here just the other day. 2 million people have left Beijing in the past month. So
Oof.
China's in trouble. They're in huge, huge trouble, and they're trying to hide it, but they can't. And Trump is he's not the beginning and end of that, but he's certainly been kind of pushing them closer to the edge. So that's that.
Right.
The Middle East, this is fucking Middle East. The IRGC in Iran are talking as if they actually have any power at all. But I
Uh-huh.
guess if you try to show, if you show your tits, that's half the job, right? The problem is a lot of these Western, it's not just America, but a lot of Western, left-wing media sources are leaning into it. Iran's winning, America sucks, of course, but they're not, and
Yeah.
it's just an absolute disaster over there. And of course, they've attacked Tel Aviv, and they did no real damage. But the Israelis are like, sure, and so they're getting, as we speak, probably they're getting absolutely toasted. So you got that. Europe is, wow, I don't know. I would use the word full collapse, I guess.
Mm.
Europe's in real bad shape. Mercedes is bankrupt. Yeah, Audi
Excellent.
is in bad shape. Porsche is in bad shape. Volkswagen is literally bleeding money. The only car company over there that's doing really well is Fiat, the Italian one.
Hmm.
The French ones are never financially stable, but they're French. Britain, of course, we all know they have a constant problem, but of course, this big thing with that Novak kid that was killed back around Christmas has come out, and everyone is pressing hard. And of course, their leader, Keir Starmer, is like, yeah, I don't care. Fuck all you Brits. I only care about Muslims, basically, right? So that's going to blow up. I'm. This might be the moment that Britain actually falls into complete political chaos right now. Right now, Canada is so dumb and so stupid in their arrogance, because that's what it is. It's arrogance, Canada. And they keep acting like they can do something else. They try to make deal with Europe. Europe is dying. What are you going to do? They try to make deals with China. China is dying. What are you going to do? So then they come back to America, but Trump says, yeah, too late. Here's another 20, 30% tariff on top of you. So Canada has been absolutely kicked straight in the balls. Good. Keep pushing it, because let's just break Canada up and absorb them into America like we should have done forever ago.
A
Mexico's
century
doing
and a half
better.
ago.
Yeah, Mexico's doing better. Yeah.
They are
And
actually.
of
That's
course,
largely thanks to us, by
it
the way.
is.
Nobody
It
wants to give
is.
us credit, but
But
us
here's
crushing the drug runners.
yeah, that is true. And there's more work to do there. But here's the biggest thing about Central and South America. All of those countries are having Trump-esque characters come up and winning elections.
That's right. Yep.
The entirety of the Americas is becoming MAGA. Holy shit.
We're winning. We're all going. It's going to be one big happy American family, and fuck the rest of the world. I've been saying it for years. That's what we need to do. America, the U.S. needs to just accept that we're an empire, stop pretending we're not, and act like it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. That's it.
Yep.
We have this hemisphere. We're the ones who controlled it for ever. We might as well stop pretending we don't.
That's true. And the most recent of the South American places to turn, Colombia, which I'm shocked. I can't believe that they've abandoned socialism. I can't believe it, but they have. And this guy coming
I
playing
actually like.
Colombia, he ain't playing, dude.
Good. I actually like that Trump just straight up told these dudes, "I can Venezuela you, I can Maduro you anytime I want." And it looks like that has worked.
Yeah.
Because make no mistake, what these people down here are responding to obviously is decades of corruption. We all know that. But it's also to the fact that Trump showed them, and Bukele showed them, and Milei showed them, you don't have to bow to these people.
No.
They don't have any. They're poor. They don't have the money to actually. Yeah, they can take out a couple of you, but they can't take out all of you. And if they tried, America would fucking ruin them. So the fact that we have a president who just said straight up, "I'll just come kidnap you in your sleep, and there's nothing you can fucking do about it," I think it gave a lot of people in these countries a lot of audacity, hope,
It did.
a lot of daring do.
It did. We see the Cubans are pushing back really hard, and that communist
Their
country
next
is going to
province,
collapse.
right
That
there.
government's gone. Bolivia
Yeah.
is the one that's the most worrisome right now, really. And that it's just so broken. And the problem is the workers, because they have that communist mindset, right? The workers are so corrupted by all the cartels and evil things around them, and they're
Right.
just stupid as bricks. They're dumb as bricks. They had a guy come in. Now, to be fair, he's not what we want, but he was trying to put in some austerity, right? And trying to fix their problem. And they just completely rejected it. They're marching, they're rioting. Bolivia is a disaster right now. But the simple fact of the matter is, you need a strong hand guy come in there and says, "No, you morons. This is what we need to do. No more free shit. None more of this. You need to get to work, and we need to deal with it." And here's the saddest thing about Bolivia is they have incredible amount of resources, not oil, but gold. You know, gold
Yes.
and other
The big one.
precious metals. But the problem is they're not exploiting it. Just like Nigeria, here's another good example. Nigeria has a lot of oil, right? And they've been selling it since what, the 60s? I think, or maybe even
Mm-hmm.
the earlier, the 50s. And but in that whole time, Of course, Nigeria is an absolute economic disaster, right? Nigeria, right? Um, but
Mhm.
in that whole time, that foreigners have come in, built the plants, taken the oil out, given them a pittance, of course, right? But in that whole time, never did they take some of that revenue and build their own infrastructure. Never.
Dumbass.
They literally have no refineries in Nigeria. Therefore, no one has power. No one has a gasoline. They're struggling. It's just an absolute disaster. They have coup d'état after coup d'état, right? Because they didn't bother to reinvest into themselves. And to be fair, so neither did, in general, the European fuckers, right? After the Monroe Act was reapplied, right? Um, we only really saw one country take complete advantage of that, and that was Japan. Germany too, but Germany, after the moratorium was up on free market, meaning the Americans said, Japan, Germany, you can't touch this shit. Your government can't touch it for until I think it was the 70s. Um,
Mhm.
but as soon as they did, the Japanese started fucking it up, but not as bad. But the Germans have completely destroyed all that free market that we forced upon them that made them grow so quickly, right? But the rest of the Europeans
Mhm.
just said, "Ah, don't worry about it. The Americans will take care of it." They didn't reinvest. They didn't build things the way they should. And the few things they did, it was at the American onus and us pushing and forcing them to do it. It's absolutely ridiculous that European countries would be comparable to Nigeria, but they are.
Yeah, they're Euro poors. We call them that for a reason.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's insane, dude. It's insane.
it
Anyway, I'm
is.
done with that.
That's why America needs to stop. We need to stop pretending. I like that Trump doesn't pretend. He just tells you, like, hey, listen, I'll just kill you. Simple. Done. You're going to do what we want because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. He literally said that the other day. Said that these countries, or it was like last year, these countries don't know what the fuck they're doing.
He did.
Because he's right.
He's not wrong.
They don't. Uh, it's not nice. It's not pretty, but it's governance. It's leadership. Sometimes it isn't. It can't all be fluffy clouds and nice Obama flowery speeches.
Well, that stupid little ABC, I think she's ABC lady. He was doing an interview with the other day. He kind of lost his patience with her, and he said, "You're either
Yep.
corrupt or stupid." And I'm done with this. And he basically stood up and walked off stage.
Yep.
He's not wrong.
Nope.
But anyway, enough of that. Let's move on to something more fun, shall we? And of course, the
Let's
first
do it.
thing to talk about today is Spider-Man Noir because Thundera has seen it. How about you, Grimlock? Have you seen it?
I have not seen it yet.
Oh my goodness, you should watch it. It's a good fun time.
He should. He should.
I
I am going. Go ahead.
I said I plan on it.
I'm going to
I'm
do
just
some
spoiled.
spoilers, just so everybody's
Spoilers.
clear.
Spoilers.
The first, we'll say 6.5, maybe 7 episodes. There's 8 episodes. Are really, 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 really good. I have very little complaints in those episodes, aside from a few contrivances. But it's like Chester said. This isn't. They're not trying to be uber serious here. They know what they're making, and it's very clear that they're having a lot of fun with it. Especially Nicolas Cage. He's having the time of his life
Yeah, he's loving it.
as Ben Reilly, which isn't. But which, as Chester said, I can confirm that's not his real name. We don't know what his real name is yet. Where I assume it's probably Peter Parker,
Right.
but they didn't establish that. And regardless, he's having the time of his life because here's what he gets to do. He gets to relive noir. Well, I should say I don't relive is the wrong word. He gets to live noir. He's not well unless he is a vampire. Who knows? And he gets to play one of the facets the character has, which is actually really cool. Is because of the way he got his powers, it made him kind of weird, made him act a little bit like a spider too much.
Yeah.
So he decided to watch. Yes, he decided to watch a bunch of movies to try and learn how to be a person again without having these weird tics. Yes.
Himself, yeah.
So one of the things he does, which is very cool, is especially if he's trying to play a character, he's doing private eye stuff, so he's trying not to sound like himself or whatever. He'll just take on the voice of a famous actor,
Yeah.
and do maybe even sometimes do like half of a scene from some famous line,
Yeah.
and it's so good. It's
It
so
is.
well done.
It
He
is.
he flows into it, flows right out of it. It's beautifully done.
Yeah.
One of
And
the other
it's
things that he clearly understands, Nick, is that he understands this character. I think he sees a lot of himself in it because people need to remember Nicolas Cage. He had a really dark time about a decade ago, right? He really had problems. Uh, by all accounts, from what I've heard, he's fixed a lot of them. I don't know if he's fixed them all, but I think he resonates with the backstory of Ben Riley a little, uh,
yeah.
and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Makes a better performance. What were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say that all of that, him copying famous actors of the time, right? Um,
Yes,
he couches in his absolute insane levels of sardonic, don't give a shit that the
yes,
character
yes.
has. So it doesn't come across as weird. It sounds like he's being, an ass,
Right,
which he
right.
is, and it works so
He is
beautifully.
extremely sarcastic and cynical. There
Yeah,
is a reason. They give a very
there is a reason.
believable reason why he's the way he is.
Yeah,
But they also make it a point, which I appreciated, that to show he's all these things. He has all these bad habits, but he's still a good man. At the end of the day,
in the
he'll
end,
still do the right thing
yeah,
just because it's the right thing to do, for
yeah.
no other reason.
Other than,
And
and one
I
of those
appreciated that.
was pretty heartfelt actually at the end. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's I love this because they added a couple little quirky things. Another one we were Thunder and I were talking about. I'll let him mention it. But
Yeah.
they really went into more of the psychology and fleshing it out a little bit.
Right.
The spider in him has made him different because he's different than the other
Yes.
ones that were affected, and we don't need to give a spoiler on that. But
Yeah.
he is different how he became the spider. But this is in him to the point that he, with the help of other people, had to completely re-educate himself on how to be human, right?
Yes.
And those little quirks that come out, like what he's saying with him dropping into the accents or mimicking other actors, because they even have a scene where he's sitting there, he's mimicking the dialogue perfectly in the movie. I think the one he was I can't remember the one that was Spencer Tracy movie he was watching. But nevertheless,
Yes.
I love that they fleshed that out, that they gave reason to it because it works really well. And then with him being incredibly sardonic, it works perfectly. It just he's being sarcastic. It's not he's weird, even though he is.
Yeah.
Right?
Even though he's literally a freak.
Yeah,
Uh,
literally. Yeah.
and he's the bright, which is great. But one of the big things a lot of these shows have recently is the male lead is by far the best thing going, and he is. He is from Nicolas Cage from beginning to end of that kills it. He delivers in every way you want him to. You root for him, you care about him, even though he's kind of a dick. But I mean, it's the genre, and you just do. Like you want to see him get his shit together and go be the man he can be, and he knows he can be. He's hurt. He's heartbroken. Uh,
And
Spoilers.
and then
But,
spoilers, and then of course we get more of that heartbreak during the show.
yes, and now we get into well, we'll get to there a second. The other character who I think does an unbelievable job is Gleason as Killmane or Silvermane.
Yeah,
I mean.
yeah,
Uh,
Silverman. Yeah.
Silvermane is phenomenal. He's
Oh, he's a
such a
great
good
actor.
villain.
He's a good actor. Yeah.
He's a great actor. He does a great job. He's the perfect just amount of straight, and then he can turn into like a cruel, sarcastic, and like just fuck with people kind of guy.
He even
He
mocked
does a
him
fantastic job.
in a kind of
Yes,
Bugs Bunny way. I love that. That was a nice little callback. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, he was a great choice. He kills it from beginning to end. I appreciate the fact that he's a villain just because he's a villain. He just wants to be the most powerful man there is because that's all he knows how to be. They even have a point where Cat asks him why. Why not just stop? You already have the best of everything. Why keep fighting? And he said, well, because the fighting's the point.
Yeah. That's the whole point.
Because that's what makes it worth anything.
Yeah.
So that was good. I like that. I like his secretary. I think she's fun. I like the fact that she's hyper loyal to him. I like the fact that she's basically his big sister, even though she's younger than him, which is funny.
Yeah.
Let's see who else we got in there. The villains are besides I keep going to call him Killmane. Besides Silvermane, the villains are. My wife wants to know why an Irish man is named Silvermane. I don't have the answer to that question, but he is.
His hair is grayed.
Yes, that's pretty much it. That's the breadth of the width of it. But regardless, the villains are mostly generic. I didn't resonate. The guy who's the actor who's playing the weird Electro Megawatt character.
It's not
he's
Electro,
funny.
It's Megawatt. Yeah.
Yeah, he's funny. I enjoyed him, but he was very. I don't know. He felt out of place in a few instances. He felt a little too caricature-ish. And I think that was honestly his script. But he is most of the time though.
I didn't mind it. They're not important anyway.
The Sandman, the guy who plays Sandman, is the most boring actor I've ever seen. I hope he gets no work.
Yeah.
I was bored to tears every time he spoke. I mean, the way he delivers lines, it sounded like sand. There was nothing to it. Maybe that was the intent. I don't know. But I didn't believe for a second he was in love with that girl. Not one. I didn't believe for a second he was ever angry. I didn't believe any of his. And I'm telling you, as somebody who used to act on a semi-professional level, that man shouldn't have been given a job in a commercial. He's a terrible actor. I hope I never see him again, and that's genuine. He doesn't need work. Get him out of here. The guy playing Lonnie. What was he supposed to be? What kind of animal was he? Did they ever say?
I think
the big black guy.
I think it was Rhino.
I think it was Rhino too.
Yeah.
He was great. I thought he was good. I thought he was exactly what he needed to be.
Yeah, that's true.
Big quiet. Kind of a stoic guy. His justifications all made sense. The guy playing Robbie did a good job. I like that he never gave up on Ben. He refused to give up on Ben. Just like his secretary refused to give up on him, even though he gave him every reason to. Yeah. That was nice. It's nice to see loyal people in these shows and whatnot.
And
my problem, if you notice, there's one character I haven't mentioned yet. We're getting to her.
I like Megawatt.
My wife liked Megawatt. She thought he was fun. He is fun. I do think he's fun.
He's a straight villain. I love it when villains are villains.
The problem for me, and this might just be me, and it might just be because I am so tired of this happening in movies, is Cat. Cat's fine for most of it. Until the last couple episodes, hang on one second, where all of a sudden, she gets away with everything. She faces no consequences for the multiple betrayals she commits,
right,
for the getting a man killed, for nearly getting Ben killed, not really caring if Ben got killed, even though she said she did, which was bullshit. And then she gets everything she wanted. Everything.
Yeah.
She's the one who won in the end.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I don't like that trope of the woman, the female lead just gets to do whatever she wants and she faces no consequences. I was literally rooting for her to die in that last fight. I was like, please kill her. She has to die, or this is going to piss me off.
But then again,
and she didn't.
Ben Reilly, Nick Cage's character, he kind of pointed that out, didn't he?
Yes, that's the one. I was getting to that. They did the one thing they could have as a saving grace. So not really. I mean, I think everybody kind of understood this is where we're going. At a funeral, we'll call it. I won't say who. I won't give away that spoiler. She's there. Sandman's there. He's not Sandman anymore. Ben cured him. Spoilers. And they're a couple. Her and Ben had a little fling, and she told him that she would run away with him, that she, loved him, all this stuff. She used him.
Yeah.
Thankfully, because Ben Reilly's more sober now, which is what they were clearly implying in the last few scenes, he's back to kind of being himself. He was able to call it out. He was able to look her right in her face, basically call her a manipulative whore. And I mean, he didn't use that language, but that's what he called her. He said, you use a man, and then you come over to make sure he's still on the hook.
Yeah.
And she tells him, go to hell. And he said, don't worry, I'll save a seat for you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was a great line.
That's great.
It was a great line. Yeah.
But she should have got a lot worse than that. When you stop and think about who did the worst shit in the show, it was her. wasn't Silvermane, wasn't the mayor, wasn't any of the other villains. The ones that we know for certain did the worst things was her. She got a man killed by trying to kill another man, whether he deserved it or not. That's what she did. Then she lied to cover it up and let other people take the blame and get killed for it. By the way, 2 men died because of her lies. Then she seduces Ben knowingly, gets him to tell her his secrets, and then betrays him with the one secret that he told her after he opened up to her. And they very clearly slept together.
Yeah.
So she could save her gangster, loser, piece of shit, can't act boyfriend.
Yeah.
He was the problem with Sandman is when they do the sympathetic version of it, he should be sympathetic. I didn't care if he lived or died. Why would I? He was a piece of shit. Right. What did he do that was in any way sympathetic, or good, or redeeming? He never had a single redeeming moment.
This is true, but there was some other mitigation you might be forgetting. The secretary did give it to her.
She slapped her twice. Big deal. She should have died. If they were going to do real noir, she would have died at the end. And the 2 men would have went their separate ways. That would have been better. That would have been more on brand for noir. This was a modern injection because they didn't want the women to face consequences. The only woman who faces any consequences is the doctor lady, and that's only because she's old and insane. And even then, she basically got what she wanted too, right? Her consequences were tertiary more than they were direct. So, that's the one gripe I have, is that the female lead did some evil shit and got away with it. And yes, it's mentioned, and I like the way he puts her in her place and basically tells her to go fuck herself. That's all good, but there should have been more. He could have done all of that with her facing some actual consequences. Because she was the villain, to be honest.
Yeah.
Compared to what we actually see Silvermane do, she was way worse.
Yeah, no, Silvermane is just a standard mob boss. He wasn't particularly evil at all. Matter of fact, he was quite patient in many settings.
Patient to a fault. In the fact that he didn't kill her as soon as he figured out she was the rat, kind of disproves the fact that he was this horrible monster that she... By the way, the only person who called him a horrible monster was her.
Yeah.
Everybody else just treated him like he was just, he's just local mob boss. And he's not good, he's not bad, he just is.
He knew she was the problem, right?
Yes.
He knew it, and in the very end, his end, he said as much. The reason why he killed that guy, although you're right, technically she was the cause of his death, he knew she was lying. He killed that guy because they set it up before that guy was he was getting a bit uppity, and he was starting to kind of flex on the power of the boss. That's why Silvermane killed him actually.
Which is a no.
Right. I mean,
you can't be doing that.
The thing is, here I have Alan talking about he didn't care for the writing and stuff, but I disagree with you. I think the writing was beautifully subtle. Right now,
I like most of it. She was my main gripe with her ending. Up until then, I loved her. She was great. Even when she betrayed him, all of that was good. It was well done, well acted. She did fine. She's not the issue. The actress did her job. It's the fact that they let her get away, get everything she wanted, and get no consequences for it. None. That's outrageous. If she was the main character and it was a female story, we'd all be calling that out. But she wasn't. She was a side character, so people will overlook it because Nick Cage is a damn hurricane of awesome for the whole thing, and he is.
Oh yeah, he's great. He's wonderful. And making Nick Cage a drunk is smart. He knows a lot about that.
He knows how to do that one. He can really method act that one.
He can. But yeah, no, I love it.
I hope we get more. I hope we get more. I hope if they're going to lean in Nancy part of noir, which there's a lot of it, especially in Private Eye stuff. One of the things, in my opinion, the best ones are when the instigators, the manipulators, they get consequences, right, in noir. Very often, more often than not. The Private Eye will usually be the one to make that happen, but not always. Yeah, and I think that's just my biggest gripe. It felt like a modern idea. When she got electrocuted in that last fight, I was like, why isn't she dead? She's just a normal human. Why didn't I kill her? We seen him. We watched him. By the way, touch two cops and just kill them.
Well, he
So
killed the mad scientist lady and her son just with one touch.
yeah. So why did she survive it? See what I mean? Like it's plot
Oh,
armor.
plot
She had
armor.
plot armor,
Mhm.
and that pisses me off because she didn't need it. It would have been a better story if she died at the end. Genuinely, if she would have still killed him, got her revenge, and then died at the end and paid for her, her own bullshit.
I would have
Because she's
preferred.
nothing but poison to the men around her.
That's true. I actually would have preferred if Silvermane outwitted her and he walked away
That would be
because
fine too.
I'd love
That
to
would be
have
fine too.
him back late in another season,
They
right?
might still. It's comic book stuff. There might be a way to bring back. You know
That's
you know
true.
how they do.
Although I am curious as to how they're going to deal with in the future, because there's no reason not to make more of this.
Yeah.
How they're going to deal with superpowered people. They kind of tied that in a pretty little bow. I was surprised they did that actually.
Well, unless because the one guy, so he got his powers by being bitten by one who is heavily mutated, right?
Right.
Uh, that could have also happened to others, and they just don't know. That'd be
True.
one way they do it.
And
Like he finds more.
and that was a World War I thing with the Germans. We know the Germans continued
Yes.
that shit. And this is set in 1933.
Right.
So what you could get is the the modern super soldier, because that is super soldier project, kind of tying it into Steve Rogers, right? So
Right.
you could get the more modern version of that in later seasons. True, because that was done
Yeah.
during the World War I, is what it was. But I enjoyed it thoroughly. I had a good time
I did
with
too.
it. It's like I said, it's not Penguin.
No, no, no.
No,
Penguin had a perfect ending.
yeah,
This had if I had to give it out of 10, I'd give the ending an 8. I give the rest of it probably a 7. I'm sorry, an 8.5, almost a 9.
yeah,
There's a few things where there's a lot of modernism in some of the dialogue that annoyed me. Like especially with the secretary, she would say things that sounded like she was a millennial instead of a woman in
right.
the 1930s,
Well, and her little
and that annoyed
American
me.
whip, yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
but but it's all that was also the weird thing is the number of Asians, because it just
Yes.
isn't that wouldn't have been reality at that time. The black dudes, no problem, none at all.
Yeah.
But especially in New York in the 30s during the Depression. But the Asians would not be in those situations. They just wouldn't be. But of
You know what I
course,
also appreciated is even though Robbie was kind of the more died guy, which is fine. I didn't. That's not the issue. They
I
didn't
like the
not necessarily
character.
the model Negro
Yeah,
thing. But yes, I did too. The one thing I appreciated is it was authentic. So when he would talk to white people, he'd talk like a white person. When he talked to a black guy, he'd switch it up. You don't see that a lot anymore because that's racist or whatever the fuck white liberals say. But it's realistic. Like I know for a fact it is because I've worked with enough black people to know that's exactly what they do.
yeah,
And there's
but
nothing wrong with that. Everybody does it.
it was also when he was speaking to black people, yeah, you're right, but it was in much more a period correct black people conversation. It
Yes.
wasn't like modern
Yes.
ghetto.
No,
It
he
wasn't
wasn't
like that.
slanging eubonics out there.
No,
No,
he
no,
wasn't.
no,
Yeah.
no. But no, that's I appreciated that level of detail. One of the things this show does very, very well is there's a level of concern, care, and detail given to the way they say things.
Right.
And that's why the secretary having these anachronistic sounds coming out of her mouth that don't fit um, is jarring to me
It
because
is.
most everybody else is fine, but then she'll randomly have a line that sounds like it's coming from a millennial. I'm
It
like,
is.
oh man,
But I even though I still liked the character, I thought she was good. But
he was.
the problem I think with it, the big problem I would have, not that I disagree with what you're saying at all. Big problem I think is it's written better than the actors they had to perform it.
I agree.
You know,
Except
not
Nick.
with
Nick
Nick.
was amazing.
Nick sold exactly what he was supposed to be selling, but a lot of them, the rest of them didn't. I think Robbie did. I think he did a real. He's
Yep.
probably the second best shining light in that show was the Robbie. He of course has deal with a little bit. They didn't deal with it so strongly, but he's a black guy working at trying to get his job back at the Bugle, which he did. because Ben's character, Nick's character here, he was the spider, and then a tragedy occurred, and he stopped being the spider like 4 or 5 years prior. And of course, Robbie,
Right.
who was friends with him, they didn't really bring out how that all happened. But he was friends with him, and therefore he had a lot of exclusives with the spider, just like Peter Parker did, right? They kind of
Right.
split it out, right? And because of that, he lost his job at the Bugle. But he's during the show, he's trying to fight to get his job back, which he does. Spoilers. And I like the Robbie character. Robbie Robinson, I think was his name.
Yeah. No, he's great.
Yeah, he was great.
Most of I like all the characters. I even like Kat. I just don't like the way they ended her.
Well,
I just that really stuck in my craw because it would have been better if she faced at least something, not just
yeah.
some mean words and a couple slaps. I mean, she got people killed. What are we doing here?
No, she was pretty awful. And my biggest complaint about her, I don't mind her acting; it was fine. But
Yeah.
my biggest problem with her is the way she was being portrayed. It would have been nice if they actually hired a pretty girl.
Yeah, like a genuinely,
A really
naturally beautiful
girl. I mean, because she's supposed to be this gorgeous thing. They had her sing, and I think she was singing. Because
Yeah.
it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. It was serviceable. So
Right.
they could have found some really, and if you want an Asian, sure, why not? It doesn't make sense, but go ahead. But they could have found a pretty Asian girl, because the
Yeah.
way they're presenting her is she is this beautiful nightclub singer at this is during Prohibition. Keep in mind, at the top nightclub in New York, and she's supposed to be this seductress, this gorgeous, beautiful thing, and she's just not very pretty at all. Yeah, you know.
Yeah. I hope if they do, which like we said, most likely you're going to get more of this, at least one or two more seasons. It's really probably just up to Nick. From what I understand, it's doing well.
He's the executive producer, really, so
Yeah, he's the guy in charge. Sony's basically giving him control of this character, which is good because he seems to really like it. And so I hope we move away entirely from any of the villain like Cat and Sandman, because why would they be around still? We just get a whole new set of cast characters on the outside. Yeah, we keep the secretary, keep Robbie, keep him. Maybe even keep that bartender in his favorite little dive bar. And
I like that guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, keep in mind, most TV shows don't really start really cook into season 3, right?
Right.
And that was a good start. And if season 2 is better, and then season 3 is even better, which I hope we get, I'd like to see this perfect role for Nick. Not only is he having a great time, he fit the noir detective way better than I imagined he would. He's kind of
does a good job
for it.
The only problem he has is he's getting a little old.
But that's okay, because that's the whole point of the character. He is old.
Yeah, but I mean, there does come a point where it's a diminishing return, right?
Sure.
But I don't think he's there yet. But if they were to go, especially as long as it takes them to make shows nowadays, they were to go, like 8 or 9 seasons, he'd be pretty old by then.
Yeah, true. And I understand what you're saying for the Ben Reilly character. Yeah.
Yes.
You're gonna have to kind of stay away from romantic stuff. But the way season 1 went, you would hope he would do that. Just stay.
You would think, but it is noir. One of the tropes is the private dicks constantly fall for the wrong woman.
That's true, which he did.
Which was fine. All of that was fine. My only real complaint is she didn't get consequences for it. She should have. That would have been better writing.
They usually
everybody else did for their fuck ups in this. Everybody else faced consequences. If they messed up some way, they faced consequences,
including Ben.
So yes. So she should have as well. And it just bothers me because I know it was a modern feminist BS reason why they decided for her not to. And it did that kind of took me out of the whole bubble of noir I was in. Because in noir she would have. I had no problem killing women in noir. No problem at all.
No, especially two-timers, yeah.
Yes.
But nevertheless, it was a great start. It's a lot of fun.
It was.
And we're
super fun. Go watch it. You'll enjoy it. Go watch it.
And I think we're much more likely to get more of this when we know we're not getting any more Penguin. That ain't happening, I don't think.
Sadly.
Right? Sadly. But this is much more likely we'll get more because I still don't. It's hard because this is on Amazon Prime, so it's really
Yeah.
hard with a streaming service to know what's successful and what's not. It's hard. It's not like where you can
Right.
go with a movie and you can see very clearly, right? Um,
Right.
and didn't go and check any of the Nielsen ratings or anything like that. But I've heard a lot of people enjoying it. So
Yep.
hopefully,
They did tease the Scorpion. He's out there somewhere because he was directly teased. There was a couple others. I can't remember what they were. But they were teased as well. We know that some the tragedy that happened. I don't want to spoil that because it's very pivotal to him. Somebody did that to him, and it was never said who. So they're still out there, I'd assume.
that's right.
They could deal with that. They could do. I mean, there's it's comic book plus noir. You can go anywhere with it. That's the great thing about this mashup is they're both ridiculous. They're
They
both
are,
just
but
ridiculous. There's no real rules.
keep in mind because Sony does own this. This is not Disney's not involved in this. This is Sony completely,
Right.
right? Now, what they could do, because keep in mind that Marvel's Noir had other characters involved. You had Iron Man Noir and stuff like that. And
Yep.
even though you could split off and do your own complete Iron Man thing, what I would think would be better is to have him maybe at some point interacting with Howard Stark, right?
Yep. Why not?
Um,
You should be around.
that he would be around, and that would
Yeah.
be a nice little touch, and maybe some of the other things, depending on how much they want to kind of move time forward. You could even see him starting to interact with Steve Rogers, um,
Yes.
which I don't know that we'll get that, and they probably don't own it anyway.
You could get references at least. Like if they go all the way up to where he starts, doing his stuff in the war. I don't see any reason why you couldn't get, references, especially when he's selling the war bonds and stuff. Get references to that.
Yeah, maybe that's true.
You could even have him meet. If you could get Chris Evans in there, I would prefer they do it and do the trick they did in the because we just watched the first Captain America. My wife and I just recently watched it, and you know how they made him real small and they made him look frail and whatever.
It was great.
Put his face on somebody else. You could have him meet that version of Steve because he's a New York kid, so you can run into him.
We could have a little cameo in that way. That's true. But Flying Saucer says, watching it right now, Cage seems to be channeling other actors, which we explain why he's doing that. Kind of reminds me of Peter Cushing on the edge of overacting. Yeah, Peter Cushing's a freaking legend, dude. But yeah, no, but there's a reason he's doing that. I love that they explain that, and I kind of wonder if that came out because Nick Cage wanted to do it, and they said, "Okay, well, we better explain it." Because I'm telling you, the writing is better than you think it is. This is some really good subtle writing in this. And there's another little thing they did that they added that I've never seen with Spider-Man that I thought was nice, and it was that thing we were talking about with his webbing, which I said you could tell me.
Yes. Yeah. So throughout the whole thing here, he's having trouble getting his webs to work. A very common Spider-Man problem. His powers will stop working or whatever. For various reasons, depending on who's writing him. Sometimes it's emotional trauma. Sometimes it's just actual something's wrong with him. It's a little bit of both. Not that there's anything physically wrong with him. Physically, he's fine. He's obviously gone through something emotionally devastating. And he's a little bit, and I'm being very generous when I say a little bit of an alcoholic.
Yeah, definitely alcoholic. Yeah.
So basically, what it is, they imply throughout it, but Chester's right about this. They imply throughout it that in order to use his webbing, whether it's because of a mental block or a little physical situation, he has to drink alcohol. But Chester's correct when he points out there's a part where somebody gives him some water and it does the same thing. So he can't really use too much webbing unless he has enough fluids, which I think is actually really smart way to limit it.
It's very smart. And who came up with that? One of the writers, or did Nick come up with that?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know, but it's good. It's a good little trick. And I was going to say something about, so when he looks like he's overacting, he is, because his character literally is. He's acting. He's portraying what he has taught himself is how a normal human behaves. When he's not doing that, Yeah, when he's not doing that is when you get the best parts of his performance.
Yeah.
Especially when he's drunk. Parts where he's drunk and doing things, which is usually very funny. That's when you get a much more subtle performance. So, and there's other parts too where he's being very sincere, where you get a lot more subtlety. So if it feels like he's overacting, they explain why, literally in universe, why he's doing that. And even in the scene where you see him literally doing what we're talking about, learning from movie stars, he's much more calm, much more reserved. He's focused. He's just, he's not overacting. Basically, he's not performing. That's what he's doing all the time, even around people that he knows and trusts, because it's the only way he can keep himself from being a total weirdo.
Right.
Quite literally.
And I did see a couple of reviews on this. I watched after the fact, and I saw a couple of people make this mention, and I thought it was very odd. They say, why is the Ben Riley character underpowered?" And I'm like, where did you see this?
Right?
Yeah, right.
I'm pretty sure I just saw him take two cars and slam them with the Sandman.
He's throwing.
No, he's not underpowered. He's holding back. Like he's Spider-Man, guys.
And he's rusty.
Yeah, and he's older, and he's rusty, and he's not taking care of himself. Like he's still a person. Even modern Peter Parker has limits. If he's all beat up or emotionally devastated, he's not going to be at his peak, at his best.
No.
And one of the things that's a common trope across all Spider-Mans is they hold back. He's not going to punch a normal guy with all of his strength. He'd knock his head off, literally.
Yeah.
So he doesn't do that. Even when he's drunk and inebriated, which is kind of a point that I believe Robbie even makes, right? That he's still, he beats all these guys up in the bar, but like, what are you doing? Like, basically, like, what are you doing? Why are you wasting your time with this? It's one of those things that they do one of the things they do that's very good, and I think we need to see more of it, is they don't tell you everything, they simply just show you.
Yeah.
So, like, Chester and I talk about the fluid thing. That's a thing that goes through the whole show. And eventually, at one point, he does kind of explain it, but he's not really explaining it. He's just rambling. And that's so good. That's so good. That's how you should do it. You don't need to sit there and give me 5 minutes of exposition about why and how his powers work. Just show them working. Yes.
No, it did a lot of that good. This show has great potential. It really, really does.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to it. I want more of it now, to be fair. And I think they can have a lot of fun. The only other complaint I've seen consistent amongst reviewers is that there's not a lot of action, and that's not wrong. But it's not what it is. This is a noir mystery drama. It's not an action movie. And I have no problem with it, which means that younger audiences might not appreciate it. Right?
Yeah.
But
I think younger audiences would surprise people. The problem that you have with the younger ones isn't necessarily the no action, there's no hook for them. Like, this is a story about older people, about all of them are adults. Ben's, older. Probably, I don't know what he's supposed to be. I would assume closer to your age in the story.
Yeah, I'd say he's supposed to be in his 50s.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's supposed to be in his 50s, yeah. Because
but it's never clearly directly stated.
Well, he was an officer in World War I, and an established one. And then, of course, we are, we're 25, excuse me, we are 15, to
15. It's 15 because they literally say 15
later, right? So he would have been 30, so that would put him at 45. And easily with World War I, especially with America's slow roll into that, he could have even been in his 40s, right?
Right.
So yeah, he's not being presented as young. They're not trying to young up him. No, he's what he is, right?
And that's one of the things you're going to have with younger people without that younger hook. It doesn't necessarily have to be action. It just has to be something that hooks them.
Right.
It's hard to get them in. But this shouldn't be made for that audience. They should understand who their audience is, hopefully, and just make it for them and let everybody have fun. Let Nick have his fun. He's good at it. When he's having fun, he's great. He's one of the best actors alive. Let him have fun.
Yeah, and maybe next time give him a pretty girl, please.
Get him a pretty girl to break his heart if we can. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, he plays the Peter Parker. He's got. I mean, come on. His heart's got to get broken. That's part of it. That's part of the whole game.
I'm not knocking on the actress. She did fine. It's not her fault. It's the casting. But I don't understand it because they could have easily found a pretty girl, right? Easily. That character didn't need anything spectacular. There's plenty of Asian actresses, I guarantee you, just crawling all over California that are more than capable of doing that, and they're pretty girls. Because it wasn't like this tour de force type of thing.
What's funny is I think the problem I have with her, besides the no consequences, besides no consequences, is they really tried to get you to sympathize with her, and I didn't at any point. Every decision, every situation she's in is of her own make. She chose. He did not force her to be his kept woman, Silvermane. She chose that. She 100%. He points it out that she chose this. This was something you want. This is something you accepted. So, he points out her hypocrisy. It's very nice to see a woman get called out like that in something like this, but I just think they tried pretty hard to get you to sympathize with her.
Yeah.
And I never felt any of that. The only characters I really sympathized with were Ben, his secretary, Robbie to some degree, and the Rhino guy. Because he was.
Eric said he's supposed to be Tombstone, which they didn't. That's not right. How and if he is Sword and Color, maybe I would think differently.
Yeah. And he can come back too. Spoilers. He gets cured as well. So if there's a way to undo the cure, or maybe the cure doesn't take like they think.
Yeah, because she did. Yeah. It's not like she did a lot of trials and testing. That was kind of quick. However, with Silvermane, I think it's important to even detail more when it comes to the Cat character, Cat Harlow.
Right.
Because not only because she's complaining about him, and he's a monster and she wants to kill him and stuff like that. But the thing with it is, yes, he is controlling her life. She is a caged bird, which that's his intention. But keep in mind, he's not banging her, right?
Nope, he doesn't hit her.
No sexual interest in her. He's not beating her. He knows right well that she's in a relationship with Sandman, right? He knows that, right? And he lets it all slide. So she's actually not in. It could be way worse. Is my point.
Yes.
It could have been way worse, and I kind of think they should have done that. I think it would have made a little more sense having their relationship was secret and he didn't know, because it's clear he did. And
he knew everything.
Having that,
by the end, he knew it all.
He did, but having that he was banging her, right? That would have added a level that I think would have been important, because she's basically a whore, and she doesn't want to be. Her real love is over here. She's willing to burn the whole world down for him, right? But I would have preferred if they'd done that. It would have added a little bit more tension and emotion to her stress, because if you look at it, what is she really stressing about? Having lots of money and being taken care of and allowed to
in the depression.
She wants.
By the way, she gets to live a luxury lifestyle in the middle of the Great Depression in New York City.
That's right.
Oh, what a terrible fate! All you gotta do is listen to this guy and wear the clothes he wants you to wear. Yeah. Okay. I mean, can I say? Hey, what do you want me to wear, Silvermane? Oh, you gonna pay all my bills? Right. I'll wear what the fuck. What do you want me to wear, buddy? What do you got?
That's right. And keep in mind, Silvermane is not the type of mob boss that is just killing random people here or there. All the people that he's involved with are criminals. All the people that he's putting violence to are criminals. He's not selling selling drugs. He's selling alcohol and other things, I'm sure. But it's not like this guy is just murdering people left and right. It's not the character. He's a classic mob boss, right? Violence goes
very Irish mob boss.
Violence. Yeah, very Irish. Yeah. So I'm just saying that her desire to see him dead, it is thin. It is thin. Right?
Very thin. And again, we're supposed to sympathize with that, and I couldn't, because her actions were worse than his on screen. They just were. Like, she got more men killed. She straight up betrays the main character. Straight up, no questions asked. There's no ambiguity. She even admits that she did.
Yeah, and he's
Um,
an idiot.
like yes, like it's just like how am I supposed to sympathize with this character because you tell me this other guy's worse, but so you got two pieces of shit doing pieces of shit things. Why do I care which piece of shit wins? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like they should have. The problem I think I have with Sandman too, besides the fact that the guy can't act for a damn life, is they didn't give me any reason to give a shit about him either. None. Not a single. There's nothing sympathetic about that character at all. At all. In
No.
fact, I hate him even more because he gets cucked and he takes her back. So
Yeah, that is true.
fuck him.
Um, but honestly, he was trying to let her go because he knew he was dying, right? And
Yeah.
at the time, she thought he was dying and there was nothing to be done with it. And she just looking for any way out. And Ben Riley was a way out opportunity for her, right?
Yes.
That's what she was looking for. And then she found out that
But
there might be a way to get her actual love and she betrayed him, right? Um, yeah,
but
she's
I
the new
would
Jenny.
still, if I
Jenny
was
is way
him,
more evil, Alan. Jenny
yes, she is.
is awful. Yeah.
I'm just saying, if he was any man of any character, he would still told her to kick rocks because he was dying, and he even said it to her face. You jumped in him, you jumped on him before my body was even in the ground, and he still took her back. I'm sorry, but no, no, no. I have no
Yeah.
sympathy for these characters. I was rooting for Electro or whatever his name is to just get him, and then Spider-Man to take him out
Megawatt.
because that would have been great. Yeah, I actually thought it would have been cool if they would have. Her consequences would have been to having to watch him get killed instead of her. That could have worked too because he was turning him into glass. That could have been. I think that would have almost been even more poetic to have her watch him die and then Spider-Man hits him with the needle and takes his powers away.
Yeah. No, there are many little things. As you can see, we're nitpicking and we're having
Yes,
fun with it. Yeah.
yes.
Lonnie Lincoln is
Overall, it's
Tombstone's real
phenomenal.
name. He is even listed as Tombstone in the credits. Thank you very much, Eric. I didn't see it in color. And so if in color they have him white, he's literally like an albino, then I would have caught it.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't look like he looked like he was just a black guy. Um,
Yeah, I thought he was Rhino because all the other
yeah,
ones
me
were
too.
animalistic
Yeah,
in some way. Well, I guess the fire guy wasn't, but they never really explained what his. But they just glossed over that.
they did.
Oh, he got
They
his power.
glossed over that completely. Yeah. Um, but he was not important, but the linchpin. He was where
Yes.
where the case started with that guy. That's
Right.
how it got going. But yeah, I liked it,
No,
and
I did too. I want more of it. I just hope that they can get away from putting too much modern thinking into it. Let it be what it is. They were
yeah,
doing so well right until that end. They really were. There was very few nitpicks here or there. Even my wife really liked it. So if they can, first seasons are like that sometimes. Though, remember, like the first season of Star Trek: Next Generation was
oh
dog
god,
shit.
yeah,
It's so
god
bad.
awful. Yeah,
But the core was there. They had something and they knew it. They just
yeah,
had to find
we
it.
all knew it.
And I think that's what this is. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
They have
Uh,
something, they know it, they just have to find it.
so hopefully we'll get more sooner than later. But let's definitely move on to the next thing. Now,
Moving
uh,
on.
moving on. Now, okay, Mortal
Uh
Kombat.
oh, Chester has seen it.
I
He
went
doesn't
to the
sound very
movies.
thrilled.
I'm not going to give any spoilers whatsoever. There's no
Okay.
need, actually. But now, if you come down here on IMDb, where I am, you'll see that this has a 6.6 rating. That is dog shit. That's ridiculous. That's a 3.
Mhm.
This movie's a 3.
A 3?
Yeah, it's a 3.
Wow, Chester didn't like it at all.
And my wife's, I asked her independently before I said anything what she thought. She said that's a 3 or 4. So
Mhm.
it is what it is. Now, and therefore, I understand why it's not making money, right? However, I kind of had some hints that I was a little bit perplexed about because I went to the theater early morning, first showing, and it was the opening day in Japan. I went to the biggest
Mhm.
theater in the city north of me, the most modern one. And as I walked in, there were no posters, There were no souvenirs.
Yep.
There was nothing. There weren't even pamphlets. I was like, well, that's weird, right? There was
That is weird.
nothing at all for promotion at all. And this is opening day in Japan, right? So I was
Right.
like, And then I went and watched it. And here's my theory. This is my working theory on it.
Mm-hmm.
You can go watch the movie. The fighting, there's a couple of really good fighting scenes there, but in general, it's so. But it's certainly a popcorn movie. Go have fun. But
Yep.
here's my theory: the opening scene, even though the CG background is not good, but then again, all movies CG backgrounds seem to be shit these days. I don't know why. Everything's muddy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a miasma is across everything. I don't know what the deal is. But other than that, it was an actual movie. The opening scene made sense, introducing Kitana, her situation, and it was like, okay, cool. It's a movie, right?
Right.
And I think what happened was that was the proof of concept that was given to New Line Cinema. They shot that
Mm-hmm.
and they gave it to New Line Cinema. This is what we want to make, and they greenlit it. Because after that, it's like a different director came in or something, right?
Mm.
Because it's night and day, night and day. You start out with an actual movie, and then you get into a series of vignettes, right? It's not a movie
Okay.
after that. And there's no lead in, there's no setup for anything whatsoever. There's way too many fight scenes. You remember in the first one, there weren't enough. And in this one, there's too many. They could have dropped one of those fight scenes and divvied that out behind all the various scenes to do just a touch of setup, right? There's none at all,
Mm.
right? In this movie, the best part of this movie, once again, is Kano, that Australian guy.
He's phenomenal.
He's funny.
He is. Yep.
Carl Urban, who I love, I enjoy him quite a bit. He's been many fun movies for me. He's not bad, but they don't give him anything to chew on at all. At all.
Mm.
Nothing. His whole character, the whole point of it is cliche. And the comedy is that he's cliche. That's it. That's it. Right? They give Carl Urban nothing to chew on. And even though the little bit that they did, literally the clichéness, he does fine with, right? He's certainly
Yeah.
a highlight. And but this is Kitana's movie. And if you remember me
Yes.
before saying that, oh, okay, we're telling Kitana's story, therefore the bad guy's story. We'll see how it works out. And I didn't have a problem with that, and I still don't. Now, I also
Mm-hmm.
understand why everyone's screaming girl boss. I get it.
Yep.
And I'm not going to
Yep.
give spoilers on why, but I'll just remind you of this. Kitana is a bad guy. She's not a good guy. She's a bad guy. She is on Shao Kahn's team. She's not a good person, right? But in this, they try to do the same thing of making the villain a good guy. They do that. All right. I'm not going to give spoilers, but I'm just saying that is a big, big problem. Right. Now, I didn't mind that girl's acting. I mean, she's not very pretty at all. But then again, does Kitana have to be pretty? I don't know.
I think she's all right. I don't think she's ugly.
She's not pretty at all, dude.
At least she's in decent shape. Like she had some muscle tone to her shoulders and stuff.
You wait till you see it. And now
I have seen.
Oh, you have. Now,
Yeah.
the other bad guys are also trying to be presented as good guys. They do that. There's hardly any actual death in it. The only real death in it, spoilers, is the weird fake character they put in the first movie. What was his name? Cody or Cade? Cade, I think is what it was.
No, there's more than him.
Yeah, no.
Cole Young.
There's not much though. Cole, that's the
Cole
one.
Gets got. Kung Lao gets got again.
Yeah, but not really.
Lou,
not really.
Lou maybe gets got.
Not
It's
really.
it's up in the air.
Not really.
But even then, so I'm going to push back on you about Kitana. When Kitana was first introduced in Mortal Kombat 2, you're correct. She was a bad guy. She has not been since that game. Since that game, she's pretty much always been a double agent.
Okay,
for
well, I didn't
most
know
of the
that.
time in Mortal Kombat history, she has been Liu Kang's woman, Liu Kang's lover. Which is weird that they didn't do any of that. They didn't even set it up. They don't even really have they have one moment where they kind of look at each other. About it. I don't know why they want to stay away from any kind of the romantic stuff, but whatever. It doesn't necessarily need it. It's just
Yeah.
strange that they didn't even hint at it.
Well,
Which the
that's
first
true.
movie
Even
does. The
with
original
Johnny
movie
and
does.
Sonya, they didn't hint at it either.
Yeah, which like, and they had good chemistry, so I thought it would have been fine. Um, so
But
that's the
she
only.
is the worst actress in the movie, though, dude, by far.
Yeah, but she's there to be a blonde girl. That's her. Yeah, it's all blonde girl. Um, I agree with pretty much everything you're saying. I think Carl did fine with what they gave him. The problem is unless they do massive changes to Johnny Cage, that's pretty much what Johnny Cage is. Right? That's why making him the centerpiece was a wrong-headed thing to do. He's not the main character. The
No.
main character is Liu fucking Kang. He's the one with all the depth. He's the one who should be focused on, but for some reason, 2 movies now, they just won't. They just won't let him be the main character.
For me, dude. The best fight
Yeah.
scene in this movie is Liu Kang versus Kung Lao, right? By far.
Oh, by far.
There
By
is
far.
no
Yeah.
others, and even then it's not great because the background CG is god awful. God awful.
Yes.
Right?
And what's funny is it should be the best scene. If you know the lore of Mortal, these are the 2 best fighters in Mortal Kombat's
right.
universe, period. So it should be.
Yeah.
And they nailed it. I thought it was great. I like the fight.
It was a good fight.
I like the fight in the throne room that wasn't part of the tournament where they were just fighting, trying to get the thing, the MacGuffin.
Yeah, MacGuffin, yeah.
And Liu and Xiao, and Liu was just beating the shit out of him basically the whole time.
Yeah.
Because he should have been. That's exactly what should be happening. Liu should just beat him. So my other complaint with the next time they fight, Liu just loses to him. That didn't make any sense. You just showed me that Liu can beat the shit out of this guy. Literally, that's what he was doing. He was not getting hit one. I don't think he got hit like one time. And he was literally at one point mounted him and just pummeling away on his face as hard as he could.
True.
But because Xiao couldn't really take damage, it didn't matter.
Well, because Shao Kahn is cheating. Yeah, he's cheating.
Yeah, he's cheating. But my point is, like, what will happen here between then and then? Which it is what it is. It's one of those things with movies where they can never keep consistent power scaling in any movie ever. It's very annoying. You can't show me a guy mollywop the hell out of a guy. 10 minutes later, they fight again, and all of a sudden the other guy just beats him. Right. That don't make sense. What are we doing?
Like the Boys ending where you have A-Train is literally moving so fast that time stopped, and Homelander's eye lasers are literally slow to crawl. But then later, he catches up with him and easily catches him. It's like, what?
Right.
But anyway, there's a lot of little things you can complain about. It's just not a very good movie. Unfortunately, there are a couple of good fight scenes, but most of them are kind of, and it's the CG that's really hurting it the worst. Another character I really, really, really don't like is Raiden. That guy, I know.
Yeah, I don't like the guy playing Raiden.
No, he's a popular actor here in Japan. The Japanese are proud that he's in it, right? But he's not the right choice. He doesn't look right. He doesn't sound right.
Right.
He's
not imperious.
What do you say?
Yeah, he doesn't have it at all. He's not imperious. Raiden is very imperious character. He's commanding. He's a commanding character. He enters a room, and all eyes are on him, whether you like it or not. That's just who he is. And this guy isn't that.
Right. Another problem you have with Hero, another guy who's had a lot of success. Japanese are very proud of him playing Scorpion. He's too old, right? He's just too old.
That's yes.
And
yes,
the whole scene where he's fighting Bihan, who is not Sub-Zero, by the way. He's not. Okay.
Yeah.
He's another character, which I won't spoil it. But that scene, the CG background is so bad. It's so bad. It's hard to even know what the hell's going on. It's so bad. The CG really kills this. Now, I know the whole movie shot on a studio. I get it. There are no Vista shots in this movie. And that's fine. You can do a studio shoot. But doing everything with this CG background when the CG is crap, it's no good, dude. It's no good. Right?
Yeah.
They need to rethink this because we've seen so many movies recently ruined by really bad CG backgrounds. So many.
Well, and then we've also seen so many used practical sets and look infinitely better,
Yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
basically the same cost as the CG backgrounds. And I'm like, well, then why the hell are you all using
Well,
practical
this
sets? They look
scene,
so much better.
this scene in the background where he fights Baraka is a practical
Yeah.
set that looks way better than the other shit. Right here in this
Yep.
scene, you look right behind. He's fighting in Baraka's village. It's a practical
Right.
set. It's still a studio, but it's a practical set, and it's way better, right? Um, although the Baraka thing is kind of just there for comedy, and okay, fine, I don't have a problem with that. But it's yeah, this movie. Now the last one was way better than this movie, and the last one wasn't great. And
Oh, I don't.
still,
I disagree with that.
the '90s movie is still by far the superior movie, by far.
Yes. Yes, it is. It's a better cast.
Yeah,
They stayed more true to source material insofar as everybody knew the roles. Even in that movie, Chester Katana's a double agent. Uh,
yeah, that's true.
they so they my point with that though is even like the casting for Katana in that movie is better. Liu's perfect.
Yeah,
Shang's so perfect that they literally turned the game version into him because he just is Shang Tsung. He's perfect. Uh, like that, and even I know some people got weird about Raiden being Christopher Lambert,
but he was better.
he's perfect. He's great. He has that voice, which is perfect. That bass, that deep voice of his, and also he had the presence down.
He did.
Most of the time, he was being humble, not trying to be imposing. But when it was time, and he would, and it was great. This other guy, he just doesn't have that.
Have it,
and he didn't have it in the first movie.
No, he doesn't. And it is what it is. But the only other thing I guess I would mention that stood out badly or goodly. Let's go Trump there for a second. I did like Jax.
Yep, Jax is good.
Yep, Jax is Jax. Sonya is whatever. I mean, she's just such a bad actress. She's so bad, dude. I
So
literally,
your opinion of Sonya is my opinion of Sandman. Just get him out of here. I don't need to see this person. They're terrible.
dude. I mean, the girl playing Jade wasn't a great actress, but it was fine.
She had personality though.
A little bit of personality. That Sonya lady, whoever that actress is, it's no. Now, also, she's not particularly attractive, but I don't think the Sonya Blade needs to be, and so that's fine. But yeah, no, she's just so bad. She's the worst actor in the movie by far. Yeah, not even close. Donnie Yen should have been Raiden. It would have been better. It would have been way better.
Honestly, if you were going to stick to the forcing Raiden to be Japanese, they should have just had Sonata play Raiden. That would have been a much better fit.
Yeah.
Than him as Scorpion because he's too. You're right. He's just too old.
He's too old.
If maybe 20 years ago, he'd have been fine.
Right. He would have been way better Raiden. You're right. 100%. He has the aura you need for that. But and this brings us to the last big problem with the movie. There are no actual martial artists in the movie except for two. So that's a problem. It's a problem.
But that holds it back. Holds it back a little bit.
If you had brought Donnie Yen in, you would have had a third because he's really good as being a movie martial artist. But all you have is the guy playing Liu Kang and the guy playing Kung Lao. Those two guys actually can do cinema fighting. Well, and the guy who played Cade or Cole, what's his name?
Cole Young.
Cole Young. He actually can move too. All right, so we did have three.
Yep.
I apologize. But other than that, nobody can move. There is no martial art, and I understand it's cinema martial arts. I get that. But there aren't any. It's none.
Right.
The least of which is frickin' Carl Urban. But he's not there for that really. But it's pretty bad, dude, and it's unfortunate.
I think what they kind of shot themselves in the foot with was making him so central. And they did that in one of the games recently too, where Johnny became basically the main character. And Johnny's not a main character. He's not designed to be a main character. He doesn't work as a main character. He is a fantastic best friend support role character, but he doesn't have enough depth of character to be a main character, whereas Lou does.
Yeah.
And it's just that's my biggest complaint. I liked it more than you did, but also I'm a big Mortal Kombat nerd, so I was nerding out. And my biggest complaint is Lou, is the fact that they just will not let him be the main character.
Ridiculous.
I don't get it.
They had it right there. It was right there. Have the big fight scene with Lou. I mean, it was right there. But then they tried to get Hollywood philosophical.
And they could have just had Lou, like, because he was still in the tournament, right? That was what they were doing. Lou could have won and not killed him, and then Katana could have just killed him, just because fuck him. That's why. And it would have been fine. She would have still got her revenge. Sure, too. But regardless, she would have still got her revenge, still got her world back, right? And Lou would have been who he's supposed to be. Yet it's just so frustrating because there's no good reason not to have Lou be the main character.
It's ridiculous because he is and he always has been. And another, talk about characters not having consequences for their actions. Kitana and Jade are another perfect example, and in this case, they're females. Maybe Kano a little bit too, but those two. I mean, it is inferred in the movie with Jade has killed a lot of people, and Kitana as well.
Yes.
They're not good people. They're evil. It's kind of like the Valkyrie problem in the Thor movies. She's the villain.
Right.
She's the bad guy, 100%. And you say that she plays a double agent. Fine. But Katana is an evil little bitch. And it's not right, especially the way they set it up, which I'm not going to spoil that because that's the best scene in the movie, right? But she's an absolute evil little shit. Who knows how many people she's inferred to kill or evil that she's allowed to happen. That's not a hero. Now, if she had somehow escaped and was living with Raiden and was kind of in that way going back as a double agent, it would have made more sense. But she's not a good person. So why should she get any comeuppance at all when she literally betrayed everything, especially her father?
Yes, the one who, besides Raiden, which they play with him going dark a little bit in the games, but besides Raiden, the only one who's a good guy with besides Jax's too, I guess, is Lou. Lou has very few moral qualms, right? He's just a good dude, and until they decided to kill him off and do kinds of stupid shit. But my point is, he should be the main character. He's the main character. They even had to, NetherRealm even had to go back in the last game and make him the main character again effectively because the story doesn't work without him as the main character.
No.
It just doesn't.
No. And the thing is, the actor, I don't know I have no clue who he is, but he has great screen presence as Liu Kang.
Yeah. He's fine. He'd be great. Perfect. Let him do it.
Yeah, let him be because he did a good job for when he was given an opportunity. But it was very clear. I wasn't surprised at all when it happened. It's just once again, a character who has done great evil is given victory, and I don't like it.
Right.
It's that simple. But even
we have the same complaint. That's funny.
But yeah. But even my wife, who knows nothing of Mortal Kombat, nothing, right? Even she will say, it's a 3 or 4, right? So it's not me just being angsty, right? It's just not a great movie, and I understand why it's failed. I get why. It's unfortunate. I think they had
I think it would have done better. Yes, I think it would have done better monetarily if they had put it out in October of last year like they planned originally.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to bump it to the spring, I think it would have just done better. Yeah. It might have even made a bunch of its money back, but it is what it is. The other problem they have is the game. They haven't had a game come in a while either. So even the last game didn't sell as well.
No.
So there's a lot of
pissed off a lot of people with MK11s.
Yeah, because they
that's what really did it.
People up.
MK11, they went woke as hell. and drove the audience away. And so when they tried to correct with the last one, um, the audience.
It wasn't real.
I mean, they tried to correct, but they just didn't bring the audience back.
No. And of course, the fact that everything is just a bunch of vignettes tied together and with no setup for anything. You don't need a lot, like a minute, right? But there's
Right.
nothing. You just jump from one thing to another. You don't even know why, hardly. And in this, another thing that's important with this movie, if you don't know Mortal Kombat and you didn't watch the first movie, you have no clue what's happening. None. And that is
Mm,
always a huge mistake as a movie maker. That's a huge mistake. You always want to
right.
put some setup to let people know who are new to it what's going on and to reiterate. And they did none of that. If you don't know Mortal Kombat and you hadn't watched that first movie, you don't know what's going on. That's a mistake. So these are huge, huge problems. It's just it's foundational movie making that has failed here. And then the
Yep.
CG, oh my God, dude, holy crap! Someone needs to be kicked just square in the balls. But uh, that and there brings my summary to the point. The reason why this movie fails is because of the director. This director is shit. It's a shit
Yeah.
director. That's it. That's it. There it is. Because some movies you could blame on acting, or you could blame on the editors, or you could blame on the writers, or executives sticking their noses in. There are many reasons things fail. This one, that director is shit. Absolute shit. That's what killed it, in my opinion, because many of the problems we see in this movie are directorial direction. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's unfortunate. What
You
would
want
you
to know
give it?
some
I
good
give it a
news that I
three.
just saw? I give it probably about a 5 or 6. But again, I'm a big Mortal Kombat nerd, so getting to see some of the more, like getting a good Liu Kang, I like
He
that.
was
The
great.
Kung Lao and Liu Kang, the Kung Lao and Liu Kang fight was phenomenal. I loved every second of it. I loved even the ending of it. I don't hate the idea that Liu has decided, to make his purpose to try and save Kung Lao. I do hate the fact that he's not the main character. You could make that movie. It wouldn't have to be world-ending stakes. It could just be him trying to save his bro.
Right.
Uh,
And there was no
that'd be
tension in
fine.
that regard either, dude. There was none.
No,
No tension.
no, and
Um,
that's to the writers and the directors. That's not
that's
to
right.
those guys.
No,
But
as it is. And
um,
honestly, if you just watch the fight scenes, which mostly that's all it is, because like I said, they do no lead up, right? The
right,
fight stuff, hey, yeah, sure, you'll have fun. Yeah, there's no problem.
yeah.
And there's
Well,
a
that's
couple of
why
really good
because
fight scenes.
I wasn't expecting them to do a Penguin. I wasn't expecting
Oh
them
well,
to
no, for sure.
do anything with the IP where they actually make it. They fill it in a way that makes it even more. I wanted them to give me really good fight scenes that are relatively or mostly lore accurate. And by and large, they did, especially Liu's stuff. I'm a big Liu Kang fan, always have been, and I like Liu Kang. I wasn't even mad when he gets killed or whatever the hell that was at the end there, uh, because even the director, I think I mentioned this, I read an interview, he said that he did not die. That's all he said. He did not die.
Well, no,
So
he doesn't.
whatever that
It's quite
means.
obvious he's not dead. He chose to do something.
Yeah,
Now, Grimlock,
yeah.
you've been real quiet. Have you not seen this movie?
No,
I see. Are you going to?
not really.
Yeah. I mean, here's a good example. Take a look at this, right? Um, Here is a picture of the best fight scene in the movie, and here is the picture, right? I don't know why I
Right.
can't get rid of this, but whatever. It's god awful, dude. It's god awful. Look at this right here. Look at this scene. It's just so messy and ugly CG in the background. It just disturbs everything you're looking at. This is the worst scene in the movie as far as CG goes. This is so bad. The blue is a little bit better, but it muddies everything up. It's hard to follow. And of course, they're even though they have these two guys who are capable of doing cinema fighting, it's cut, jump, 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 cut, 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 which like Jackie Chan said, anybody can be a superhero now. And that's this movie proves it. They didn't let anything breathe at all, at all. And it's a shame because this scene right here, if they let it breathe a little bit, it would have even been more epic because these are two guys that can throw down.
I actually think it would have been better if this would have been the main story.
Yeah.
Was him trying to get, once he found out Kung was back, Kung Lao was back, him trying to get save him.
I agree 100%.
And that could have been the final fight. It would have been because it's the best fight in the movie by far. It's not even close. And it would have been a much better ending, much better finale. Those two fighting.
Yeah. But that's what you got, folks. There you go. So make your own decisions. You got me on a 3 and him on a 5. I do think there is. Look at that horrible CG. I do think there is some fun to have with some of the fight scenes and some of the quirky stuff. Kano is great. Carl is fine. I just wish they gave him a little bit more chew on, honestly, because we know he can deliver. But it is what it is. So let me go ahead and move on here. Now, I talked about it a little bit. I'm not going to talk about it too much more. But just to reiterate,
real quick before we do that, apparently Super Mario Galaxy did eventually break 1 billion, so it's a $1 billion movie now.
Oh, good. That's good.
Anyway, yeah,
and we'll get to that. We'll get to at the end here.
Massive India H-1B visa fraud ring busted. No, what a surprise!
No, yeah.
Who could have guessed that India would be scamming people?
Now, the scam, we all kind of knew that was happening because India likes to say they have so many doctors, but if you actually research it, you understand that India is one of the most corrupt, fraudulent countries on the planet, right? And most of that is bullshit. They're not actually well educated. Their degrees are not valid. It's a huge problem, and it always has been. Now we know the H-1B visa problem is a problem, and the Trump administration has hacked on it a little bit, but not as much as they should. Although I have a feeling we're about to see them hack on it a lot harder after this report came out, because 71% of all H-1B visas are coming out of India. And keep in mind, nearly all of the H-1B visa are not doing what they're supposed to do. The idea of this is, hey, we want to have a fast track to bring in the really smart people around the world to come in and be high-end techs or bosses or things like that. That's what it's supposed to be for. But of course, what it's being used for is entry-level shit because they can pay them less, right? It's a complete scam. It's been a scam forever. And it's insane that we have nearly 7 million of these people in the country who don't deserve it. And with the job market being as awkward and volatile as it is, those 7 million jobs could easily go to Americans because we're not talking about top end people, which was the point of H-1B, right? We're talking about entry level basic people that any American could do the same thing better. But you're going to have to pay them the standard wage instead of undercutting it, right? And getting, federal funding, I'm sure, right? So this thing is blowing up. All those MAGA people that have been pissed and bitching about this, they're right. They're not wrong. They're 100% right. And the Trump administration needs to get on this. The problem is, of course, that they have made many mentions of it. The big problem is the frickin' Congress, whether it be the House or the Senate, are so goddamn useless. Holy shit.
That's right.
They do nothing. They accomplish nothing. It's infuriating. It's infuriating. And this is what's pissing so many Americans off. It's not really the Trump administration. They're taking the heat for it, and fair enough, you're the boss, right? But this freaking Congress needs a serious kick in the ass. It is outrageous. What have they accomplished?
They need a kick in the ass. They need a couple of ropes around the neck.
That would be nice.
Yes.
And I'm talking about Republicans here. I know the Democrats are toxic, lying pieces of shit. We all know this. I'm not talking about those fuckers. I'm talking about Republicans.
Yeah. No, they all gotta go. Get about. They're getting to the point where the average American would support the dissolution of Congress if you just get shit done. If somebody could just come in and get shit done, I honestly think the average American, they might not say it in public, but once it started happening and things started getting done, They support it. Trump gets big boosts in his popularity every time he acts more autocratic.
Yep.
Nobody wants to talk about it. Yep. Nobody wants to make light of it or point it out, but it's the truth. The American people, and it's not because they want to lose their freedom. They're so fucking tired of Congress's inability to work for them. No matter who we send there, we have large movements on the left and on the right of these big organizations, that big grassroots that get built up, and we send people there that are going to try and fight back and blah, 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 and literally nothing gets done, or worse, a full betrayal, and they go against everything that you send them there to do.
The SAVE Act, the current betrayal that's ongoing.
Yes.
And I mean the SAVE Act is the most common sense, easy thing you could ever do. Of course you need an ID to vote. What the fuck? That is, why are we even talking about that? That should be standard. That is not even a debate. Of course you have to show you're an American citizen to vote. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. There is no other country on the planet that even is a conversation.
Well, people just saw what happened in California.
Yeah, of course they're cheat. They're fucking assholes. We know this. That's all they do, right? And the Republicans have been caught cheating a couple times in my lifetime. But that's not the problem of the Republicans. Their problem is they're feckless. They're absolutely feckless. I mean,
most of them are, yes. Most of them are feckless. Then you have the ones who are traitors, who are just part of the Yellow Club.
Yeah.
Who should not be allowed to, you should not be allowed to walk off into the sunset.
Yeah. McConnell needs to be removed from office and put in Gitmo, and then a short drop and a sudden stop wouldn't be out of cause for Mr. McConnell.
Or Thune,
for most of Congress, to be honest. Dude. Yeah, most of Congress could get it, and I honestly don't think, because listen, when January 6th happened, I was cheering. I just wanted them to get one. They didn't got to get them all. Just get one of them bastards. Tar and feather that ass at least. Let's get old school with it. That's why they're really upset about it, because the people got too close. Heaven forbid. Heaven forbid. I will always support when ineffective governance gets obliterated, whether it's through direct means or indirect means. I will always support that. There's no excuse for it in our system. You're a representative of the people. You should act in their interest. When 80% of the people tell you, hey, we want this thing, there's zero reason it shouldn't be law within a week. Within a week. Doesn't take long. Yeah,
they don't do
Doesn't take that long. When they want to get something done, they can. Remember COVID? Remember all of a sudden they want to do these big COVID relief bills? They got them done in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Interesting how that works when they want something. Real interesting. And those were massive, those bills. Massive.
If they were even moving at only quarter the pace that Trump is moving at, we'd see so much change. Just a quarter.
Yes.
But they're useless. Yeah. They're not even moving at 1,000th of the rate of Trump. I would maybe 1/10 of 1,000, right?
What America needs, and everybody knows it, even the left knows it, they just want to be their guy. People on the right, the normal right, the far right, all know it. What America needs is a century of good emperors. We need a century of good dictatorial emperors who just go in there and clean the rot out. Yeah. That's what saved Rome. That's what saved Rome from falling into nothing. And or much earlier than it eventually did. It's pivoted, but you know what I mean. That's the only way out. When you get to this point, the only thing that can save you now is a philosopher king who genuinely cares about the interests of the empire and tries to make it better.
Yeah.
If you don't get that, if you don't get your Caesar, you end. So we're at 250. Chester, you know that number is important for big republics. It's the number. It's the litmus test. Do you make it past it or not?
No one ever does.
I don't think we do.
Change. Yeah, no one does.
Yes, I think we get extreme change, and that extreme change will be into a formal empire. Even if we don't take the name, that's what it'll be. And I think we'll just take the name. I don't see any reason not to. And I think you're going to see a massive shakeup of the political landscape the way it's been done for a very long time within the next 20 years or so. maybe even sooner. We'll just see how disgruntled the people actually get. Because make no mistake, remember, the most popular, legitimately anyway, popular politician of all time, besides Adolf Hitler, was Julius Caesar.
Oh yeah,
He was
very
beloved
popular.
by the
That is
people.
true.
Beloved.
He was beloved. To be fair, Vercingetorix was pretty popular too.
Yep, he got up there. Yep.
But
So my
anyway,
point is, the people like a strong man as long as they think he's on their side.
yep, now
That's
that's
it.
always true. But this is going to develop, and I think you're going to see a lot more movement on this. We've already seen some, but it's going to escalate as it should. And honestly, another thing they need to do is, and I've seen a little bit of it recently, just start arresting these rioters. Just arrest them wholesale. That's what you need to do. But anyway, let's move
Arrest them,
on.
do RICO charges. Anybody who's funding them, shut them
Oh
all
well,
down,
they
take
should
their
be on
funds,
that. They
end
should
it.
already be on that. All these illegals, all those companies hire them should be hit. What are you doing,
Yep.
right? But whatever.
Shut
Let's
them
move away
down.
from that.
Here we go. We're
All
away
right,
from it. Where are we at? What are we doing? What are we looking at?
video
Gaming.
games. Now, every June we talk about
Tattoo
this.
removal. I'm in. Let's play it.
Right. But no, every year in June we get all the new stuff, right? All the announcements. And like I said
Yeah.
earlier, this year I haven't really seen a lot of woke. I've seen some things that are genred that you might consider woke, but we don't see this big woking. This has been the best year I've seen in years as far as that. Now, like I said, there's not a lot I'm interested in, but that doesn't mean anything. Now,
Right.
taking a look here, I just thought we'd go through the list. Fake Keeper is getting a lot of attention. This is a Souls-like game, of course, as
I
we've
heard
seen with many
I
things.
heard
But
somebody call it.
yeah, go ahead.
I switched over back to my headset because it's charged. I heard
Better.
somebody call it a Skyrim with more testosterone. That Fate Keeper game. I don't know if that's an accurate description, but I'm interested. I'm interested in that description.
Yeah, it's RPG. A lot of great RPGs coming right now. Now, this is a
And,
first person, which
you
I'm not a fan of, but
you mentioned why, and they're not going to get the credit they deserve for it, but it's true. The reason you're getting so many great RPGs, because we had a dearth of them for a while,
we did.
is because of the Souls games, because they brought that itch back for people.
Yeah, and everything wants to look Souls now, which is a bit irritating. But anyway, this is getting a bunch of buzz. Is my point. And yes, it is very much a Skyrim-esque, as you can see right here. It's a first-person thing, which, like I said, for me is I don't really like, but it doesn't matter. But this is getting a lot of attention. We have a Dragonfire game here, as you've seen, and I'm just going to scroll through, and you tell me if you want to stop and look at anything. Now, Among the Sleep is a kind of creepy little kids game. That's fine. Blood West. I saw the trailer. I love this thing. It looks really fun, but it is very bloody. Let's see here. Lots of little kid stuff, which is fine. Final Fantasy. This is another redo, right?
Yep.
Comatose has got some attention. I wasn't very interested, but it's one of those. It's a video game for people who don't play video games. Okay.
Awesome.
House
We need more of
flipper,
those.
tattoo games, all of these kind of things people like. Little mobile games people enjoy. Swan Song, not my thing, but it once again, it's not woke. It's genre as it should be, right? More little mobile games, little simulators, things like that. The Seventh Guest. Let's see here. Gothic remake. Now, this has got a lot of people hyped. Now,
I
way back,
do love the Gothic games. They're good.
it's like more than 20 years ago, right?
Oh yeah.
Gothic is one of the games that really solidified RPG role playing, right?
Yep.
And it was a mega hit. And the fact that they've just simply made it, they just updated it to modern graphics and modern control and modern use. This game is probably going to make stupid money. Yeah.
Not only that, it was one of the first games to be genuinely mature, meaning it didn't shy away from like sexuality and stuff.
That's true. Yeah. Now, I was never a huge fan of Gothic. but that once again doesn't matter. This has got a lot of people hyped, and it came out of nowhere, by the way. So
Yep.
that's this one to watch. The Goth remake is Gothic remake's going to make a lot of money. We have some Master of the Universe thing. Don't know, but of course makes sense. Solar Punk. This is one of those builder games. Let's see here. Into the Depths. It's a literally a delve. Did you not know by the name? Um, Little kitty thing, girl kitty thing. We got a Civ game here, but it's a Galactic Civilization. Let's see here. We got a Monopoly game, Barbie, of course. Let's see here. Mhm. Okay. This is just a lot of little stuff, a lot of mobile games here, a lot. Star Fox, of course, we already knew about that. That's going to get a lot of attention. I hope they did a good job because they basically just remade the original. Well, not the original,
Right.
the second one.
The 64.
Yeah, the
Star
64 they
Fox
remade.
64.
Yeah. So it's going to get a lot of attention. Looks good. A lot of little cardy games like this that are popular. Once again, mobile games. Uh, let's see here.
Speaking of games, Chester,
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think you've gotten to it yet,
Yeah.
but did you see the stuff that came about the Wolverine game?
Yeah, I people are kind of complaining and say it's woke garbage, but I don't know. I watched
It is.
okay, you'll explain that to me. The gameplay that I saw looked a lot like the old Wolverine game. Why is it woke?
One, it's still being consulted by Sweet Baby Inc., which was the woke company that
Oh,
was on.
it's dead now.
Um, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the infamous we're gonna make Deborah Wilson look like everybody, no matter what character she is. So she's now Callisto.
Yep.
I know Jean didn't look great.
Yeah. No, she looked horrible. But also,
The big one.
even with even without Sweet Baby's involvement and the whole Deborah Wilson thing, because I don't think that's her necessarily doing that. I think that's the company's doing that. Um, People also have to remember there was an interview when Spider-Man 2 came out when I think the CEO, one of the lead devs, was talking about one of the things that he had got a lot of feedback on, and one of the things that people hated in the first game was the Mary Jane stealth missions. So what was his response? To put more in as a fuck you to all the people who complained. For that alone, you shouldn't buy this game.
That's too bad.
Yep. But there's a big one he left out. Rumor has it, I don't know if it's confirmed, but I bet it is. The X-Men aren't in this game at all. They don't even exist.
Yeah,
They're called X Team or Team X or something like that.
yeah.
Oh, that's dumb.
Yep.
All right, fine. Cult Shadows. I don't know anything about it, but I've seen a couple of people excited about it. So whatever that is, let's see here. It's too bad about the Wolverine because the gameplay looked kind of fun though.
That's
Eternity's
okay.
Echo is getting some. Patient Zero is getting some attention. Let's see here. Enshrouded. Once again, it's not. We've already had the demo out for a while, the alpha, or even the beta, I think. Let's see here. Exoshock. I think I've seen it. Let's see here. Fear Woods. I saw a little thing on that. Um, hmm See, Gloom Punks. Fair. Okay. hmm Luminary. I've seen some stuff on that. Cosmosis.
Oh, going back to because I forgot to mention it. That if that was the Masters of the Universe game,
Yeah.
that's the one I'm thinking of. That's the Dragon Pearl. That is a side scrolling beat 'em up. That is based on the original series.
Oh,
Has nothing to do
nice.
with the movie.
Yeah. No, I think I had seen that as well. You're right. Yeah, I did see that.
It had been
Um,
pushed back. It was supposed to come out the end of April, but for some reason they pushed it back to the end of June. So I hope whatever they pushed it back for, that is good reason.
yep. Yep. That's true. Now, keep in mind, there's a lot of kid games and girl stuff here, but once again, that's not a problem. That's a genre. Um, let's keep going here. Ruin. I didn't care for that. Um, I'm not seeing the ones I want to see. This is a long list, so let me just keep kind of scrolling here. Stay, whatever. That's a chick thing. Um, I'm not seeing the stuff I want to see. A lot of mobile games here. A lot of mobile shit, dude. Maybe I should have quantified it as PC. It would have been better if I don't even know if I can do that. Okay. I'm really not seeing the stuff. But then again, that we don't a lot of the stuff being announced, we don't know exactly when it's all going to drop, necessarily this year or next year, right?
A lot of games are dropping in September.
It seems
A
so.
lot.
Yeah.
Between the state of play, I didn't see the Xbox showcase from earlier today, but between the state of play and Summer's Game Fest, there's a fuck ton of shit dropping in September,
There
like
is.
within 2 weeks of each other.
That's true. That is true. This Animo is and it looked very Korean to me. Try to do Pokemon thing. It's super cute, girl game. It's too cute. Matter of fact, I don't think it's going to catch the young men like Pokemon does. Let's see here, but that they did push that one. All right, Arkham Horror. The card game, of course, this has been around a long time. Actually, it's probably an expansion, but Arkham Horror series is great. But it's a mobile game, so you know. Ascendant, I've seen some things on that. Atrum, I think I saw something and it didn't interest me at all. Um, hmm, Probably would have been better if I'd found another way to look at this because we're just getting so many mobile games here, so many. But then again, mobile games kind of are the big market right now. To be fair,
Yeah, they make a lot of money,
they do, they do.
which I don't personally understand. I've every mobile game I've ever played bored me to tears.
Yeah, they
So
don't.
I don't know.
Yeah, they don't
They're
keep
not for me.
finishing very long, do they? That is true. Call of Duty board game, so mobile game version.
I'm just happy there's going to be another Cuphead.
Oh yeah,
Cuphead is coming.
that is true. You got Belmont's Curse here, of course, which that's a girl, so if you're against that, you're not gonna like it. uh,
They really try to play that shit like dudes freak out and seeing at the sight of a girl. It's like, no, motherfucker, that ain't the point.
no, it's not. It's not the point. But this game right here, ChronoScript. I know Chester picked something called ChronoScript. I get it. All right, but an interesting looking side scroller here, but it has a duality to it where there are these writers and you're the editor in the game. I don't know. They didn't give us enough information, but it looked interesting, different. This one might turn out to be something kind of cool, and it's a side scroller, so City of
Yeah.
Ashes. The Hellraiser thing didn't look interesting to me at all. Then again, I was like, why would I want to play Hellraiser, the video game? That's weird.
Yeah, doesn't sound
Uh,
like an entertaining game whatsoever.
Not at all. No. This is kind of beating a dead horse here. But it would have been better if I just went looked at the PlayStation releases or something like that. But the point is, there are a lot of interesting things coming.
Yep,
This was the best year we've had in years, as far as announcements. But just look at the absolute flood of games, dude. Look at this. This is all 2026. This is all dropping. All of this.
crazy, isn't it?
It is.
Oh,
And it's going to become more of a glut as we go forward. It's going to become more of a glut. And we're going to have to start really relying on YouTubers to sort through it, right?
Right.
I've been
And
doing that.
yeah, but that they have been, and that's their job. They get paid to do
I
that, so
mean,
you get at it. It's
it,
kind of
it's not
people
even
over
just
here.
that. It's not even just that they get paid to do it. Is that you can watch in real time. You don't have like when you get a review, you're getting like a condensed, you know, or a condensed thing. It's somebody's trying to cram maybe a game that has 12 hours of gameplay into like 5 minutes. When you're watching somebody actually play the thing, you can actually sit there and see like the little nuances, things that may irritate you but didn't irritate them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because I have saved so much money just like any game that I'm on the fence about. Like I'll wait till somebody streams that shit and I'll watch it. It's
yep,
like
that is true. I think everyone is more cautious with their purchases than before. Dust Fade is
you should.
kind of a little cute little side scroller, almost like Mario type of games. It's a cute little thing.
Oh yeah, that's
People
right
like
up my
them.
alley.
Yeah. Let's see here. Enemy of the State, Elflock, a lot of real small indie stuff here. Um, hmm. There's quite a bit of stuff coming from Korean and Chinese studios. Not much from Japan, but that's kind of been the standard for a while now. But anyway, um, as you can see, there's an absolute flood. The new Forza game, of course, Fracture Point. Okay. Hmm. There's a new Tomb Raider, look pretty good. It's the original, but
It's
re made pretty.
yeah, it didn't look bad.
Yeah, look
I,
pretty
I
good.
don't know how um I don't know how it plays well, but it looked from the trailer it looked all right to me. I
Yeah,
didn't have any major complaints about that.
it looked like Laura, and they're literally taking the first game but making it a modern, version of it. It looked good. Yeah,
Yeah.
for people who like Tomb Raider, I'm sure they're happy about it.
She didn't look ugly either.
No, she it looked like Laura
Take that
Croft.
as a win.
Take it as a win. You got Inzoi here. This is been, this is already out, and you can already play it. I've already played it. This is a contender to compete with Sims, and it's still in early development. There's a lot of work to do, but in the long run, it may end up being pretty cool for those of us who, because I love that kind of stuff. But it
Yeah.
is pretty though, and it's coming along. So Kina, another was this. This one is kind of like a girly Pokemon thingy. Now, I have seen a lot of girls games, um, and like I said, but they're not woke. They're just simply for girls. And I don't know. And this PC, I'm not talking about mobile. We're talking about PC. And I don't know, dude. It's is there a market there for them? Is there a market for girls on PC
Well,
gaming?
here's the thing with girls and gaming because they've been trying to fluff the numbers for so long, and the numbers have been around 20 to 25% at best.
Yeah. Well, so
And
there is some money.
maybe in time, as younger generations, because you know, I know your generation was the first to have gaming, but it was me and Thundar's generation where there was no point in our lives where games wasn't a thing.
No, that's fair.
Right.
Yeah.
And when I was in school, yeah, there were girls who played games, but it wasn't like
Hard
like
gaming.
super huge. Like it wasn't as many as the boys.
Yeah.
It wasn't even close. But they keep trying to pretend like it is. And
Yeah.
a lot of the girls who played back in the day, they liked the same shit we did. If you was playing Street Fighter, we played Street Fighter. They
Yeah,
played
it's
Street Fighter.
different now. It's all mobile stuff, and that's fine.
And well, even that there are things for girls like that. Right now on the Switch, I think their biggest hit is Tomodachi Life,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's overwhelmingly girls.
It is, but I think
There
one of
ain't
the
too many dudes playing Tomodachi games.
no, but I think one of the big successes of the Switch was a lot of girls got into the Switch. I think that's
Yeah,
one of the
well,
things that
Animal
helped it.
Crossing was a huge
Right,
hit as
right.
well.
Yeah, Zelda as well.
Again, yeah, Zelda, but there wasn't as many girls playing Zelda as there was playing Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing
No,
is their kind of game. If I was to rank probably the top three games girls are playing on the Switch, it's Animal Crossing, Tomodachi Life, and then Mario Kart.
right. Yeah. And honestly,
Those are the games
Nintendo
that they're
leans more
playing.
toward the female anyway, you know. Although the
Well,
biggest female
they've always
game of
been
all
family
time
friendly.
is Angry Birds and Candy Crush, right?
Yeah, which is ironically owned by Activision and now Microsoft.
Right. Isn't that interesting? Lords of the Fallen 2 here. I mentioned as you're going. But
But like,
Lucid,
there are certain games that girls play, and certain like this one might surprise you. Large number of girls play RuneScape.
Yep.
really, that's interesting.
Yes,
A lot of them play
RuneScape
WoW
is their
too.
jam. Yeah, and WoW.
Why?
It's where they just, well, because that's where boys are. Let's be honest.
Well, look, well, I mean, like you said, it's a young. The girls who play WoW are younger. Like I would say, at least 10 years younger than I am,
Okay.
and that's because when WoW first came out, Dundallo knows this too. That shit was everywhere from an advertising
It
perspective.
was.
It
It
was
was.
also pre-social media, and it was one of the only ways you could just you could just talk to people all over the world, right? Like
Yeah.
people forget we're 20 plus years into WoW now, but when it came out in 2004, that wasn't really a thing. I mean, it was,
No,
but it was very rudimentary compared to like this. You couldn't do this, and
you had
you
you
had
had
WoW, you
AIM
had
and Yahoo
AIM,
Messenger.
yeah. But it was
Yeah,
hard to meet people from wherever, right? Because on WoW, you could be talking to somebody from fucking anywhere, technically. And so I think a lot of women got involved in it for that. They like most of them like the social aspect. Plus, I mean, WoW's fun, and if you if you like there's a lot of cutesy stuff in WoW too. That girls, you know how cute girls are, they glom to it. But I honestly think the main reason a lot of them started playing is because there's nerdy boys there, nerdy men there,
Yeah.
and believe it or not, I know the internet would have you believe otherwise. There are women who actually do like those kind of men,
Oh, sure.
and so that's what. Because I mean, I got laid off a while multiple times. That's just I was going to tell you the truth, Chester. And in my 15 years of playing it before I met my wife, the girl I almost married before my wife, I met playing WoW, for
Wow.
instance. So, like,
Interesting.
yeah,
Yeah, I play WoW too, but I was already well married for a while.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't have any chicks in there? No gamer girls in your guild or anything?
No.
Really? I had a bunch.
No.
I had orbiters, Chester. It was a problem. It actually
Well,
literally became a problem in that relationship.
no. To be fair, I tend to play MMOs solo anyway. The
Mm-hmm.
only girls I remember were noisy, as far as bothering
Yep.
me, was in City of Heroes.
Yes. And you'll get one or two girls in my experience playing those games, unless well, there's a third one too, but you'll never know it's a girl because she doesn't talk to anybody. She just plays solo or whatever. But there's one or two. You get the real noisy, kind of obnoxious ones who are just very performative, and honestly you just don't want to spend time with them. And then you have the ones who are just nerdy girls, and they know nerdy guys are there, so they
Yeah.
can enjoy themselves. Uh, and those were most of the girls I hung out with when I played WoW. I actually, for a long time, I was hanging out with mostly females playing WoW. When I think
Interesting.
about it,
No,
yeah.
that was not my experience with most MMO, just City of Heroes. But I was part of a I don't know what you call them, teams, guilds, that had one of the biggest bases in City of Heroes, and there were a lot of girls that were part of that, and the dumb bitches kept trying to sex stick me. What do you call it? Sexting?
Sexting.
Yeah.
Yes, sexting. Yeah, there was a lot of that. A lot of that. There was I remember a few of them. I'm not going to say their names, but I remember them. One lived in Seattle, one lived in Georgia, and then the one who I ended up with was in Kentucky,
Oh.
and then she moved up here to me for 3 years. And we played WoW that whole time together, pretty much. And it, like I said, it became a bit of an issue. Plus, she had a really sexy voice. My ex, like a really sexy voice,
Yeah.
like could have been a phone sex girl type thing.
Yeah.
So that also was a problem because
That's my
men.
problem.
Apparently, Chester, I don't think I do, but I've been told by multiple women, including her, that I do. That I also have that issue, and I'm like, what? I don't hear it, but I've heard it too many times to discount it from various women. So I don't know.
Confidence is what it is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The confidence and a little bass in your voice. You know how the women are.
Yep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If I get it when I lower my register, right? You get that low register. I get that, but when I'm using my normal conversational voice, I think I just sound like me. I don't know. You sound like a guy. But most guys sound like that. Well, I guess not. A lot of guys do have some high pitch. It's weird.
Well, it's
I
probably
don't know how you
better
walk
that
around
you
like
not
that as a man.
concentrate on how you sound because that would be creepy. Yeah. But as you see, because I've been scrolling this whole time while we've been talking. Wow. Holy shit, dude.
It's a big year. It's a
It
big year,
is.
and you know
It's
what's
going to get worse.
crazy? These are smaller situations,
They all
right?
are. Yeah.
You don't see a lot of AAA in here. Good. It's time.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
time for the big dogs to die, and for the new dogs to come in.
Yep.
Young lions,
Yep.
and let's see what happens. And I do think you're going to start to see that it already is happening. You're going to see more and more of these smaller studios, like the people who make Clair Obscura, that just they hit, and then they're off. They're off to the races.
Yep.
Yeah.
The only big dog that's had hits this year and is going to probably have hits next year is Capcom.
Capcom's killing
Capcom.
it.
Yeah. But
Can't hate them.
like I
Because
said,
Onimusha, one of the games that's
There is the one I'm looking
dropping in
for.
September.
Onimusha. Oh, Onimusha. I can't wait.
It looks good. The demo's out. I've seen
I'll
some
have to get it. I might have to turn on the PlayStation and get it because I haven't turned it on in a minute.
Onimusha.
Wait, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Empire City?
Yeah.
Another Turtles game?
Wait, Empire City.
Yep. Right there.
Yep.
I saw that apparently the last Ronin game that was supposed to be canceled wasn't canceled.
Nice.
Yeah. But I had already said, we
Empire City.
really are going to have to rely on YouTubers, dude, a lot.
I'm gonna have to look at that one.
Yep.
Oh, shit, wait, look, one of the things I'm waiting for is 2 weeks away.
What's that?
The Chinese is going to do something Marvel hasn't done in almost 50 years. They're going to make Cyclops cool.
Yeah. Well,
if they can pull that off, just give them the IP.
Yeah.
Dude, did you see the season 8 trailer? How Cyclops came in, fucking shit up.
Yeah. No, I haven't.
I did not.
I might have to let Chester see that.
Yeah. Old Cyclops is he's always had a problem, and that problem is he's a dork.
Yeah,
big old dork.
He's not cool. He's not cool at all. Yeah. And honestly, that's the end of it.
Hey, look, these motherfuckers made Jeff the fucking Landshark work. Okay,
that's
they
true.
did. Valheim's official release is coming. Yeah.
Yeah, Valheim's official release, although it's been out for years.
Yep. That's another thing I think needs to go away, except for games where it's like grand strategy or something. There's no reason games need to be being put out 6 years in pre-access or the fuck early access and then come out later. That whole ecosystem I think is very toxic to the industry.
Yeah, I finally hit the bottom. So wow, guys. I mean, wow.
Look at it. Look at them all. They're coming.
It is, and it's a good thing. And of course, the cream will rise to the top as it always does.
Yep.
Guild Wars 3 just got announced. Yeah, we'll see what they do with that. Of course, they've had that MMO running for quite a while, so we'll see how that goes.
How do
Uh,
you pronounce that last one there?
Zward,
I don't like it. Nope. Mm-mm. Don't like that at all.
fine.
Zward. I don't like it.
There's probably a lot here you wouldn't like. But let's move on from that. Just keep your eyes open. We'll start seeing some digests be put together by July, I'm sure. Uh,
Yeah, Chester,
talking about.
I put that trailer in the general chat if you wanted to see it.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead and read this.
Ghostbusters Night Shift Netflix series announced after the movie flops. Wait, there was a Ghostbusters movie?
There have been two, and they didn't make money.
What was it? Was it Afterlife?
Afterlife and Frozen Empire. They didn't make any money. They both lost money. But
I thought Afterlife made money.
no, they didn't. They lost money. But they uh, there was some critical success, but not monetarily they lost money. Now, Dan Aykroyd is part of this, and what they're doing is another animated series like the real Ghostbusters is what this is going to be. So, and it's got the same team behind both the last movies, which, like I said, they did get some critical success, but they didn't make money. So I don't know how this is going to go, but it is animated Ghostbusters coming back after a very long time, what, 30 years? So
Yep.
Yeah.
there might be some hype for this. I just thought it'd be interesting to mention it. And really, what I wanted to talk about were these things here.
Masters of the Universe box office. 68% male audience sinks the Barbie bet.
Right. Now, of course, the reason why that isn't working is because, as Thunderheart said, men have been told go away anyway, and men are
Yep.
far more discerning. And what we've seen with women is they've been leaning more and more left, seemingly almost on a daily basis. So as Barbie, which ironically got a lot of praise because it was uh, the unintended meaning of their story is what caught people's attention. But the girls didn't go, it hates men, so what? I love Barbie. And they went. But women are leaning left anyway. Men are far more discerning and have been very cautious about this. Now, I've watched several reviews and I will be seeing this weekend because I got to go back up to the city and I get pick up my suit that I am having I've had tailored. So I got to go pick it up. So I'm going to go watch this movie. And actually, from the reviews, it seems like it's good fun. So, but it's not getting the attention. It's not making money, right?
Yep.
Not at all. Here's another movie that actually is making some money.
Scary movie box office laughs to franchise record opening. People are ready for parody again.
They are. And this is the Wayne brothers back with a scary movie franchise. Now, all the critics I looked at for this said the same thing. The opening scene and the ending scene are funny. Everything else sucks. Okay. That's just the critical look at the movie. But this movie is stirring a lot of controversy and they shouldn't be surprised because the Wayne brothers go in and they're making fun of everybody, as they always have. Now, I guarantee you're going to get a lot more white boy jokes than anything else. However, they're busting on transgenders, stupid Democrats in the immigration crap, all the stuff that is contemporaneous. They are poking fun at it, as they do, right?
Yes.
That shouldn't surprise anyone because that's what the Wayne brothers do. However, the left is losing their absolute shit over this movie.
Good.
All of the typical peoples, Ruffalo, just everybody you would imagine is coming out and just losing their freaking minds over this movie. And it's like, dude, it's a dumbass comedy parody. Get a grip, right? But they don't think the jokes in here are appropriate. It's just not funny. So
Right.
this movie is catching a lot more attention than it really should be, right? Anything?
I'm not surprised. I think people wanted to underestimate this, but you have to remember how many of these movies they made.
Oh
There's a
yeah,
reason for that.
and not just
There's a
that.
market for it.
After they got kicked out by the brothers and did the other scary movies, they went and did what, Haunted House or something like that series.
Yeah.
So these guys have always done the same dumbass shit. Honestly, if you like that, you'll like it. I'm not a big fan of slapstick and parody. Probably the best thing I've ever seen them do was In Living Color. And of course, they gave us Jim Carrey. Why I think
Yep.
he might well have been the only white boy on the cast, if I'm sure. If I'm
Trying to
correct,
remember. If he wasn't, he was one of the very few.
They had a couple that just wasn't always on the same season.
no, but
Yep.
Carrey was always there. But there was some good,
Yeah, he was the standout.
yeah, there
Yep.
was some good, solid fun on it. But that's what started them, and that's what that's what they do. All right. But the interesting thing for me is that the lefties are so upset. Are so upset.
I love
This
it.
is another thing. Go ahead.
God of War creator David Jaffe calls new Laufey game uninspired and dull. Yep.
Lao Fei. Now, as you can see here, we have this girl from True Blood. She's a nerd, by the way. She loves board games. She's kind of like a female version of Henry Cavill. But we know she's a bit older now, but still a very pretty girl. Look how much they uglied her up, and they keep doing this over and over and
Now,
over. And I'm
can I ask
wondering.
a question?
Let me finish my statement real quick.
Go ahead.
My question is, aren't these girls pissed that they take their likeness, they capture it, they put it in a game, and make them ugly? Wouldn't you think that would piss women off?
Yes, but they'll never say it in public because it'd be bad for their careers.
All right. Well, that's my question. Go
They
ahead.
should be because they don't fuck up Deborah Wilson's face.
Well, yeah. Uh, she probably has it in her contract. My question is, you want me to believe that Kratos, God of War, son of Zeus, in canon one of the most powerful beings alive, would pick this ugly bitch?
It is weird, but that's not
I'll
the issue.
suspend a lot of no. Yes, it is. Yes, it fucking is.
Okay.
I'll suspend a lot of disbelief about Kratos, about the God of War games, about everything. But you're not going to tell me that this hedonistic man who has had thousands of women,
Well, that's
by
true.
the way,
That is
thousands, is going to pick this ugly bitch. She's ugly. She's not even. It's not that she's a little bit of no. She's literally ugly. And I'm married to a woman who's a Celt like that, who's prettier than her. I know what I'm talking about. So it offends me personally, one, what they've done to Kratos, what that fucker Jaffe did to Kratos, and two, what they're going to do to now the woman he supposedly loves so much he gave everything up for and was going to just live a normal mortal life and raise his son.
Right.
And now she's just some ugly boss bitch. Like, what are we doing?
And of course,
it's so annoying.
It is annoying. And the other issue with this is called God of War Lao Fei. Now,
yes.
Lao Fei is actually mentioned in the Eddas, right? It's not like it's a out of nowhere thing. However, why in the hell would you have a God of War game without Kratos? Doesn't make any sense. It's like having a Batman movie with a Batman game without Batman. Oh wait,
I can answer this.
That.
I can answer this. Yeah, but at least they wasn't stupid enough to call it Batman. They at least were smart enough to call it something else.
Arkham. Oh no, it was called Batman Arkham Knights.
No, Gotham Knights was not called Batman.
Okay. Anyway, go ahead. Your point.
All right. So I don't know if you've seen the video for this, but they introduced the two lead writers for this fucking game.
Yeah.
And it's, of course, what you thought it was. Two fat tourists.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't start playing God of War until the 2018 game. Of course you did. So they decided, I don't know. Well, I know how they pitched it because it's Santa Monica Studios, and Santa Monica Studios needs to be burnt to the fucking ground.
Yeah, Santa Monica, yeah.
That we're going to take this background character. Okay, she's part of Kratos' lore. Fine.
Yeah, sure.
But when you play God of War, especially considering there's been, I think, 11 games in the God of War franchise prior to this,
yeah,
You
Yep.
think God of War, you're not thinking of anybody else but motherfucking Kratos. And to me, I've already told people this is to me, and I know some people might push back on this. This is the whole Furiosa shit all over again.
It is.
Yep.
It is.
It's
It's
Yep.
exactly that.
yes, she's a part of the lore. That's fine. Nobody was asking nobody was asking for a Furiosa movie.
Well,
There
they
was.
could have gave us a Mimir game. That would have been great.
Yep. Well, they could have, had it about his son that they've been building up for a decade now. What
Right.
are we doing there?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. No. Now.
And even still, if you're going to play loosely with different mythology, right, which is
Yep.
what the God of War series has done, and you just had to make a God of War game about a God of War, and you wanted it to be female, and she was sitting right there, and you did nothing.
Yeah. Here's another problem that I'm just going to point out, and maybe they'll explain it in the game. Why does she have the magic that she has? And I don't know if you saw the trailer, Chester. Her magical powers make no sense for what she is. She's a frost giant.
Yes.
Spoilers. She doesn't have frost giant powers. She's casting basic, like, fey druid powers and shit. Lightning bolts and shit. What are we doing?
Yeah. No.
Like,
It's complete bullshit,
it's
and
a
it's going to lose them
mess.
money.
It's a
Yeah.
mess.
It's not
And it's
smart.
been a mess since Data Boy was created. The fact that
Yep.
idiot Jaffe, whatever you say his stupid ass name, changed Kratos from a man who was the epitome of masculinity and all of these things. He was basically a
Vengeance.
super Greek version of Achilles, like on steroids. That's what he was. Okay, that archetype's fine in Greek setting because Achilles is Achilles. You change him from that to this fucking millennial, fucking contrite about everything. He's all somber, he's stoic. Fuck off. Kratos is about passion and rage and kicking ass. Not about I'm gonna be a calm dad now. Fuck you. That's like making Dirty Harry and turn him into a fucking baker. Get out of here. Dirty Harry's a bad motherfucker who shoots bad guys. Kratos is a bad motherfucker who destroys gods.
Yes.
We
Oh,
don't need him to be soft.
No.
Ask yourself, punk, did I bake 5 bagels or 6?
Yeah. That's right. That's right. But of course, this is obviously not what anybody wanted, and
Nobody.
it's going to hurt them.
Except 2 fat millennials.
Yeah, it's except for them. Now, I did have this story, but I'll keep it for next week. But because this is still ongoing, where basically the people over at Amazon MGM canceled they were actually doing it for
Yes.
Stargate, and but they canceled it because it's too much like the original show. We need something more for the modern audience. So
That
Oh
does not
boy.
exist.
there's a lot of hype, a lot of noise going on around that. I'll talk about it next week. The only other thing I'll mention, because I am on my time before I go to the box office, is a little thing that Grimlock had mentioned, and I'll let him talk about the stupidity of transgenderism in comic book.
Oh boy, we're talking about Wonder Man.
Wonder Man. Yeah. One of the stupidest
Uh,
things ever. They literally, I mean, if you want to make a transgender character, then make one. Just make one.
Yep.
What's the problem? You want to make one? Go
no,
ahead.
I
Put good
well,
writing, put a good story behind it. You might even be able to create a transgender character that is endearing and people like, if you did it right. But no, of course, that's not what they do. They steal things. But in this
Won't be doing
case,
that.
they stole the most stupid way to do a transgender, because Wonder Woman, of course, the title, it's not Diana Prince, but Wonder Woman now is a transgender, which of course we all know doesn't make any sense whatsoever, because men are not allowed to set foot on Themyscira. Even
Yes.
Superman shows respect to them and hovers anytime he goes there. He never puts a foot on Themyscira. The only male that I know that ever put a foot on Themyscira in the comic books is Lex Luthor, and he's fucking Lex Luthor. Of course he did.
Yeah, he does what he wants. That's
That's
why.
right. But I'm just saying, It doesn't make it's the worst possible choice. First of all, like I
Yep.
said, if you want a transgender character, make one. But it would have made a lot more sense to say Batwoman or something. It's dumb,
Well,
but
see,
it would have made more
they,
sense.
they,
But Wonder Woman?
they did, and nobody reads that bullshit.
Yeah,
And and they keep trying to tell people, and they're gonna listen one day. They're gonna learn. Gonna learn. This is not about creating. This is about collecting scalps.
it
And the
is.
ironic thing is, we're talking about not just any female character. We're talking about the original feminist icon
That's right. That's right.
in Wonder Woman,
That's right.
the one that every white liberal loves to point to
Yep.
as the example, as the reason for the reason being, right?
Yep.
So to not only do this, well, to want to let it be done is disrespect. But the people who are there don't have respect for what came before them. That is also this thing. You know, you have these non-talented narcissists who have gotten their way in through nepotism, because that's what it is. Because we know they're not talented. Um, that's we've seen what happens to these non-talented people when they lose their jobs. They're putting up GoFundmes within 2 weeks to beg for rent money and fucking food.
Yeah. Yeah, we know
No,
that's another
this
issue when
is
it comes to comic books. That is true. But now they did this mainly for the Pride Month is the main reason because we know
a
when
book that doesn't sell.
the
A
book
book
that
that
doesn't sell. But
the DC Pride and the Marvel Voices books don't fucking sell.
they don't.
It got
And
to the point where even Marvel got the message to not do that shit this year.
yeah. And of course, this is all going to change here in probably August, when the ink is finally put on the page. And it'll probably take months or maybe even a couple of years before they get down to the comic books and just put proper people in charge. But things will change at DC. They will. Um, More importantly, things will change at CNN, and that'll happen much
Yep.
quicker than DC. And that's going to be a very important shift, actually, a big shift. But anyway, I just wanted to let him mention that and just the stupidity of the thing. Anyway, let me go over and take a look at the box office here, shall we? Now, Scary Movie is top of the charts here, and it made 50 million in the pocket, which honestly they're probably close to in the profit anyway. I doubt they
Yeah.
spent very much money on this movie. 20 million maybe total with marketing. I doubt it. So they're probably already in the black. But people talk about how crazy the money is. Once again, you have to look at it in perspective, right? So we already talked about this, though. Masters of the Universe, even though it sounds like it's a fun little movie, people are enjoying it, and I will tell you next week after I watch it. But boy, howdy, is that a bomb! Holy shit, dude! Look at that.
Yep.
Good.
That is
Yep.
insane, dude.
I'm
Here,
saying it as a Masters of the Universe fan. This is the second time in a year that I've been able to say this. I prayed for this.
All right.
I
I
prayed
prayed
for
for it
this,
and it
and it
happened.
happened.
Uh,
Ah, Joe McIntyre, you gave me such a gem. God bless
I
you, sir.
I actually agree with him, and not for the same reason, but the main reason is because they marketed this. They let their stupid actors
Yep.
talk shit about men and masculinity in a
Yep.
fucking property about He-Man. And these are the same people, maybe not Amazon specifically, but some of them, who have for a decade told men to stay home. Well, we're staying home now. How's it feel?
Yep. Yep. There it is.
Enjoy.
There
Wasting
it
your
is.
money, idiots.
Yeah. Now the funny thing
I went out and
is,
bought comic books on Saturday. Fuck you.
yeah.
I could have went
Uh,
to the movies.
well, the funny thing with this is, though, guys, is the critics that I watch. I watch several for because they have different takes, and that's what I want. They've all said it's actually a fun little popcorn movie. It's really is a fun movie to go to cinema for. But one of the ones that's universal had been spoken, and they all were surprised by this. Jared Leto is good in this. It's the best role they've ever seen him in.
Yep.
So there's that. Anyway, but that is abysmal. That is a bomb right there. Let's see how Backrooms is doing. 100 million, 106 million in pocket. Damn, damn,
Wow.
dude.
Good on Kane.
Yeah.
Good on Kane. That's so good to see. He deserves it.
You know the problem with this though is the way this has come out on YouTube and stuff like that, and the way of the IP is kind of working. Anybody could go make a Backrooms movie.
Yeah, anybody can at any
Well,
point.
that's the good
Yeah,
thing.
but you know
Because
the big studios are going to abuse the shit out of it, dude.
Probably.
they already have. I mean, but the problem is
Well, they might not be able to call it back rooms though. They probably got the copyright on that as a movie.
Maybe.
I'd imagine.
Yeah.
So they might have to call it something else.
Obsession, $112 million. Holy crap, dude.
Under $1 million to make that film.
Huge. Is this going, let this go. Is this is this going to rival Mad Max for the biggest profit?
I think it already is. I think I did see that it might even already be the biggest profit of all time.
That's crazy, dude. I have no idea what this is. Some kind of, it didn't make money anyway. Some little, I don't know what that is. Of course, my daughter and her husband went and saw this weekend. Yeah, this is losing money. Um,
Star Wars is a dead brand. They killed it. They got exactly what they wanted. They murdered it.
they did.
It's done.
It's true. Um, let's take a look here. Super Mario. Yep, there she is.
Boom. Just crossed it. Look at
There
that.
she is.
I love it. Big
Yeah,
claps for Super
yeah.
Mario. Give the people what they want. They honestly should have just made Mortal Kombat an animated movie. I think it would have done better.
Might well have. Train Spotting 30th anniversary made no money, but I mean, why would it? Um,
It didn't make money when it came out the
that's
first time.
what I'll say. This is a rough weekend for that to come out.
Yeah.
yeah, right.
I mean, no offense. I mean, you look at everything that's out this weekend. You're really going to go to the theater to watch a movie that you probably have on DVD.
Right. No, re-releases can be fun, but they're not going to make a lot
They
of money. The only good thing
they
about it
can like
is they are profit. You know.
take the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles last year. They when they did their 35th anniversary, it did well.
Mhm.
A lot of these 30th anniversary, 35th anniversaries have done well, but holy shit, I'm just look at. I mean, you look at the top of that right as at the top five right there. That's a rough five to go against if you're doing a retro movie.
That's true. That is true. Especially a thing that isn't a big budget spectacular as cinema has become these days. Maple Chic has seen Master University, said Leto was great. Yeah, that's what everybody's saying. It's the best thing they've ever seen him do. So, and that's great because Skeletor needs to be, he's the kind of heart of it, really, right? But I've heard a lot of fun things about it. People are like, yeah, it was good fun. It's a good fun movie. And it's just unfortunate, like Thunder had said, they let the idiots speak. So this is turning out to be another Dungeons and Dragons, is what it is.
Yep.
Let's
And
just,
look what happened with that movie.
yeah, and because that was a good fun movie too, right? A lot of nostalgia, a lot of fan love, and that's the thing with this movie, it has a lot of fan love in it. It is an honest love letter to Masters of the Universe, is what is being said about it. Same with Dungeons and
And
Dragons.
race swaps, 0 out of 10.
Well, yeah, fair. That's fair. But I guarantee you, Idris Elba is awesome in it, though. I guarantee it.
He wasn't the only one.
No, I'm sure he wasn't. Yeah. But nevertheless, I have to leave it there. I got to go to work. And we'll talk next week. I will maybe put together a little bit more rounded information on the Stargate situation because it is a situation. There is a groundswell coming up. And that guy who played Daniel in the show, the TV show, not Spader, but the TV show, he is leading the charge. He's pissed because this thing was actually moving right along and they canceled it because it's not woke enough. That's why they canceled it. And
Yep.
that's what's pissing people off is the reason why, right? So I'll cover that more next week. Other than that, Grimlock, you got anything to say here?
We're in June already. We're
We
halfway
are.
through the year. And got some cool stuff coming up in
Yeah.
in September and stuff. I'm going to be sitting here waiting for Monster Hunter's expansion,
Hmm.
which doesn't come out till next year.
Yeah. Go
But I
play
can
some
be
video
patient.
games, man.
Yeah, go play some video games.
Yeah.
They're
There's
coming.
actually some good games out here right now.
There
There's
are.
actually the AAA games are learning the hard way, but man, we're eating good right now. If you're a
We are.
gaming fan, there's a lot of
Yeah.
double A indie stuff. Go look on Kickstarter every now and then. There's a lot of people
Oh,
making
really?
some games. Um, this is a good time for us.
Yeah.
This is better than people think it is.
It is. And,
Just
and I
because
think,
they've fallen doesn't mean it's doomed.
yeah.
Or
And
we're doing better.
especially if you're an RPG fan. Yeah. There's some
It's
really, really good
just a fan
RPGs
in
coming.
general.
Yeah.
There's so many things. You got your Metroidvanias, you got your beat 'em ups, you got your strategy games. There right now there's a little something out there for everybody. They're just
Yeah.
not coming from the big dogs, but
Yeah.
they've made their bed and they're waking up lonely.
They are. And keep in mind, Larian Studios is hinting at something, which, everyone's going to pay attention to that. But a big one I saw is Warhorse Studios, the guys who do Kingdom Come Deliverance, which was a big mega hit, right? They have the Lord of the Rings IP. That
Yep.
Interesting. I wonder if they're gonna let you have gay sex with Aragorn like they did in the last Kingdom Come. The reason I didn't buy like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is because they don't force it, but they permitted the two best friends to become gay lovers. And
they
I said,
did.
"All right,
They did.
I'm good."
Yeah, okay. You didn't have
The
to,
reason
but I
why it's
guarantee
such
it
a
was
the reason why
beneficial.
it's so egregious is because the first game he marketed as anti woke as the whole deal. Right? He leaned all the way into it.
You're right.
Then as soon as he got some money, he pivoted. So fuck that guy.
All right. I'm just saying but that potentially could be an amazing thing though.
Could be.
It could be. Anyway, Thundera, take us out of here, man.
What do your favorite one? The master is not the one who completes his training. The master is the one who never stops.
Namaste, bitches. Later.